Hey everybody, if you're watching the video on demand, this is the episode 176 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded on the 24th. Pre-show, hangout, until the post-show. That's how it works. Mother. Where am I doing here? Stuff. Tree Void, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. How you doing tonight? Hey, C-Sam. Diametron, how you doing? Boy. Infamous Element, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. Tezu, how you doing? How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Mother Lover. What is happening upstairs? Ooh, chaos is open. I can do the chaos right now. All right. Late dinner, beans and cornbread. I had chili for dinner, so I got my beans in there. No cornbread, though. That would been nice. Gonna have a lot to eat tomorrow. Ian, how you doing? How we all doing? Oh, let me see if there's anybody joining us on the YouTube. Are we on YouTube? Are we on YouTube? I have a lot to eat tomorrow. We are on YouTube. How's everybody on YouTube doing? Yeah. It was good chili. I didn't have to make it, which means it was better. Liz, the stream just started. Mango, yes, hour later this week. We wanted, hey, Strider, Zektor, we wanted to give ourselves a little bit of time. I was trying to get through the Lufania right now, to kind of see what was happening. And we were surprised. Go figure, huh? We did not know what was going to go on.
Hey, did you get the Lufania yet? Are you testing core or should I?
No, I have not gotten there. I just unlocked the chaos, and now I am. Hey, Louie. Now I am. And DK, how you doing? Looking at chat. I don't want to start the chaos yet. If I'm going to go into the show. Oh, hey, free BT. Take it.
Yeah, I figured core wouldn't
Tree
work. Tree Void.
saying
We just
core
wanted
not
confirmation.
working.
Yeah.
Yep.
I figured his attacks never counted as a separate attack, so it can't be a preemptive thing.
Right. Yep. Hey, Liz7, thank you for becoming a member. Enjoy the emotes. Ooh, Meister, how you doing? Why did people think Vanille was going to be on this banner? Because Vanille was the only character that JP got that we didn't get. Vanille was on a campaign banner in the timeline for Japan last month, and we never got that campaign banner. So the assumption was that Vanille would come this month. So we were wrong. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, she if we were following the JP timeline, we would have already had Vanille. We do not have Vanille. That was one of those campaign banners. Yeah, oh Liz, that's great. This is a really good, obviously if you're missing 2 or 3 of these characters, or if you're a new player, this is an excellent banner. So they're making up for the crappy Setzer banner we got earlier. So you got 3 LDs and a BT on this banner. All you should have waited for Setzer. No, I'm joking. Oh, it does work on the boss's turns.
Okay.
Interesting. We'll have to play with that. So as long as you give the boss's turns, it will tick up. Interesting. Yeah, what are the other... we'll talk about that. What are the other traps that tick it up? Pretty much any trap, right? Ace. Yeah, Garnet. Garnet's not... Man. Garnet is not... I'll guess that can be off turn, though, so... BV... Who else is in that trap effect? Caius, Vanille. We don't have Caius yet. We do have Caius LD. X-Death would be one. X-Death's BT effect would take it up, right? Is it brave damage? No, it's brave damage. Attack from debuff. Huh. I guess that counts as an attack. It's HP damage. Interesting. Oh, I got the full lowdown on the traps there. Crap. Doop. What was that? Going to talk about the whales. We are going to talk about the sphere tokens. Interesting. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. All your DissidiaFFOO news and talk. Live on Twitch and YouTube. On the wrong day and wrong time. Well, we're so glad you're here with us. Hope all your polls went well. I haven't done my polls yet, and we might be able to convince Mino to poll.
On what? Balthier? there's no new fucking weapon.
Maria,
I guess.
Yeah, we were gonna make Mino pull on Vanille. You have all 3 of those LDs, right? Chat could make me pull on Ash, I guess. No, I hate Ash.
All right, if you think of the sub goal, I'll throw resources at Maria.
What do you think, chat? What do you want Mino to do? Pull for Maria.
It's me for Maria or you for Ash, I guess. Those are the only ones we're missing, right?
Yep. Where are you planning to pick up Jecht's BT?
I already went in on it. I went back.
Oh, okay. This is not the regular schedule is. Normally we are on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So an hour earlier on Thursday nights. It's when we do the show. 5 subs. Oh yeah, did you see that, Joey? Hey Joey, how you doing? Yeah, Raw Life did everybody check out Black Cloud Strife, Black Nero on YouTube, who loves Billie Eilish. Eilish. How do you say her last name? I know what she looks like, at least. Could be something.
No.
Yeah.
Eilish.
Eilish?
Yeah. Don't your kid? I guess your kids are too young to listen to that music.
Yeah, they don't. They listen to Fall Out Boy. I don't know. Taylor Swift. Never heard her music. Hey, Lord, touch me. Wow. She's a musician? What? Oh, Lord. We're going to start the show in about 4 minutes. Our pre-show trivia. What was the topic in which Mino corrected Pierre and Mark for the first time? So Mino would sit and chat like all of you, except it would just be him.
One-man audience.
And he would correct us.
Isn't this supposed to be? Don't we do this at the beginning of the actual show?
Yeah, I do. But.
We missed a good joke for the actual podcast. You're wasting your A material on this garbage pre-show audience.
Howdy, Shadowheart. You can become a member like Shadowheart. We're talking about Cedar and I are talking about like some. You know how Josepher does that "Would You Pull" segment, right? Right. Where he lets his BC is in our private chat. Oh no, that was in general. That's great.
Well, what do you say in general?
No, he just posted a emote.
I actually, now that I think about it, I guess that's his type. He really likes them goth girls, like, real bad. I don't get it. I thought that was a phase. That's a teenage phase. When everyone's emo, so you're into emos, but like now he's a grown ass man now. I don't know.
Yeah, I dated a goth chick. So, no, so
I
you know,
introduced him to that website, Suicide Girls.
I am happily married. I don't need to be introduced to. Hey, Yoji.
You know Suicide Girls, right? That's an old ass website. He didn't know about it. It was before his time.
I'm not familiar with Suicide Girls.
No, it's like all goth chicks.
My favorite website. My favorite website. Listen to a lot of Dresden Dolls and Evanescence, Flyleaf. Trying to think of some like good goth bands for you. Good goth chick lead singers. Hey, DK Pow, thank you for the subscription. Or no, sorry, I apologize. Livestream Defo, thank you for the subscription.
Holy shit, he got a big ass thingy.
Specifically, thank you to Raw Life, not Zoe or Blart. They are useless.
Yeah, Zoe's poor, and I don't think Blart likes this. Has Blart ever subbed to us? I don't know. I give my free Prime to Livestream all the time.
Blart is dead to me. Wait, you don't give your free Prime sub to us?
That's rude.
I caught up on Historia Crux and the live stream today while I was working. So I did witness that amazing victory, Raw Life. Amazing victory. I really you really pulled it out. I was impressed. Really pulled it out. I don't care what anybody else said. We are the champions, my friends. Kick them out of the supporters chat. Yeah, if you subscribe on Twitch, you'll and are linked to your Discord, you'll automatically be in our supporters chat, and we're going to try to hook that up for YouTube members too. So if you are a member on YouTube and not in our supporter chat, just send me a message with your Discord name, and we'll hook you up there as well. But anyway, we're talking about potentially doing kind of like a member question of the week. So like we'll ask you a question and you can let us know what you think. Something like that. We're workshopping it. Hey Goose. Hey Plastics. How you doing? Did Balthier get LD boards? He sure did, and we're going to talk about all that and more on episode 171. Oh, fuck. Episode 176 of the Crystal Chronicles, which is going to start in about 30 seconds. Mino, are you ready?
Yeah. I was trying to beat this Lufania. I'm close, but I'll just table it for later.
All right. Well, you got a few minutes while I ramp into everything else. So, let's start the show. Hey, thank you all for being with us. Looking forward to it. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everyone to episode 176 of the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast, live on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for joining us if you are live. Thank you for joining us if you're watching on the video on demand or listening on your favorite podcast app. Wherever you are, if you want to give us a like, a follow, a subscription, if you want to support us on Twitch by subbing or on YouTube by becoming a member, we do appreciate that. I'm Mark, your host, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by my good friend and yours. It's Mino Spellgood. Mino, how you doing?
Hey, Mark. Holidays coming up. It's been a very breezy week for me. I know you said you've been really busy, so I actually haven't been messaging you telling you how little work I have. I imagine your day-to-day was pretty terrible.
Yeah, no, it's been busy for a number of different reasons. Yeah.
Rough, but I mean, very, very relaxing during the holidays as they're coming up. I spent the entire week in the office alone, just playing Defo and doing whatever. Like nobody else was in there with me, so what a waste of my time. But holidays slows down. I've been watching Love Life on HBO. I don't know if you're catching up on any shows, and that's this whole thing about it's every season follows one person, and the premise is that all the failed relationships before you get to the one that lasts. And man, has that been a depressing show. Really, really hits home, man. I think you'd enjoy it. You should get a watch, because it's it's not just romantic relationships, but like toxic friendships and toxic family relationships between siblings and parents. Oh man. But yeah, no, I just perfect for all the Thanksgiving drama coming up.
Very nice. Thank you to Nidre. Everybody check out OO Tip and Nidre's site there. Thank you for the subscription resub with Prime. Shout out to Raw Life in the live stream for a sub earlier. Liz for becoming a YouTube member, Infamous Element, and Tree Void for the resubs as well. Appreciate all of your support. We don't have a sub campaign besides, I guess, if you sub enough, maybe Mino will pull on Maria.
Sure. What are we saying? Let's just make a number of right now. What do you usually do? What's the going rate?
1 sub, 10 tickets is what we usually do.
1 sub, 10 tickets?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. All right. Okay. How many are we at now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
Okay. Okay. So
Six
60
60
tickets.
tickets until you get the LD. Then you stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta jump onto the emulator and everything. I hate that.
So last week, our good friend and TCC intern, Poda Cedar, had our pre-show trivia on which day did the first episode of season 2 aired, which would be the first episode of the DissidiaFFOO podcast, or episode 1. We're on 176. That would be March 6, 2018. So we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary, hopefully pretty soon. So looking forward to that. This week's trivia: when did Mino first correct Pierre and Mark? If you're not familiar with the early show, Pierre and I would hang out on Twitch, and Mino would be here by himself in chat and correct us all the things we said that were incorrect, which were many, because we didn't do any research. So, nor did we play anything. Hey, Cross on both Twitch and YouTube. Everybody check out Historia Crux. I believe that's usually on Tuesday night. Live streams on Monday night. I caught up both on live stream and Historia Crux today. So I caught both of the VODs to make sure that I was up to date on all the news and talk. So you are too. Well, hey, friends. A little bit of a news. We were late. I mean, it's not Thursday night. It's Wednesday night because Thanksgiving here in the U.S. tomorrow. But we wanted to push the show back an hour because there is a event tonight, or more specifically, a campaign in addition to the event. The event is it's not Maria's Lost Chapter. It's Kadaj's Lost Chapter, Mommy Issues. And Maria is the new LD. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there is a new campaign, and it is the Black 5-Day campaign. We were expecting, perhaps, a character like Vanille, who we didn't get on a campaign banner last month, to come back for this month. But what we got is a brand new banner and some brand new sales. So the new banner that we got, of course, Maria will talk about that, is Balthier coming about 3 weeks early or 4 weeks early with his LD boards and rework, back with his LD, Ash LD, and Setzer with Jecht's burst. So really good pickup banner for new players. Really good if you're missing them. It's pretty good banner. Unfortunately, no Vanille for us, and we don't know what's the status of Vanille. Vanille will come back on Layla's banner. But Mino, what do you think about this banner? Kind of initial thoughts in the change with Vanille.
Well, Balthier's time travel is always welcome. He's about 3 weeks early. Nobody cares about. Well, people seem pretty happy. I feel like any new early thing, people are happy. Just skimming our general chat before the show, people are pretty happy to be able to use Balthier. He's a synergy for this event as well. I don't think anyone was looking forward to Ash, but Ash was supposed to be with Aphmau.
Yes.
And I know there were at least a handful of people saying they were waiting for that to pull her. So now she's here, I guess, if you want Ash. But the big news is Setzer is here. He did not rerun in JP until 5 months later. So it was when did he come out? Like 3-4 months ago. So it was like 8-9 months between. Oh, 9 months for sure. It was 9 months between his runs. They shortened that significantly. And while hard content is still out, and we all know from Reddit that Setzer is better than Bart's BT Plus. So this is your chance if you're still struggling with some of the harder Lufania Pluses before they go away. Setzer is here. So I think by the merit of Setzer being on this banner and rerunning so early, for all the hipsters that skipped him and then realize how good he is now, what a valuable release. And great for new players too, right? Balthier's easy auras, Setzer's easy auras, Ash's Ash. You know, she's there. Paralyzes and heals if you want it. But the biggest news is that now we know why Setzer didn't come with Tidus's BT, because GL, always treating our audience better, put him on the superior Jecht's BT.
Yeah.
Right? So now, instead of,
we all should have waited. We should have waited.
I feel bad for JP. They had to have a chance of getting Tidus BT. That's garbage. But Jecht BT with Setzer, much, much, much better.
Yeah, great banner. We'll talk a little bit about sales here. If you missed the Golden Cack gun, that is available as a weapon gloss. Belthier's costume, Ash costume, and Ardyn costumes all rerun. And, of course, Jecht's banner, the Final Aeon costume, which is amazing costume, is on sale as well. Did you pick that up, the Final Aeon costume?
Of course.
Yeah, it's really great. And it does change the effect when he uses his. Do his eyes blink when he uses his burst or when he uses his LD? I forget which animation it is.
I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. I haven't been paying attention to
that.
Yeah,
his eyes flash, but his Final Aeon costume's eyes are different colors than his normal costume. So there is actually an animation change, I believe.
Interesting.
I was playing around with that, and I think there is a little different. Now, but the big news. We were all waiting. What's the Black Friday sales? What's the Black Friday? If you're not familiar with Black Friday, I don't know where you live that you're not familiar with Black Friday. Black Friday traditionally is the time of year. It's the very specific date when most retail stores go in the black, actually start making money, and it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. People start buying and shopping for the holiday season. So that is this coming Friday, and usually these games have some sales. So what we got is you have a Black 5-day sale. That's going to refresh for 5 days, 99 cents. In the United States, it's 99 cents. Wherever you live, it will be different. But here in the United States, it's 99 cents for 500 gems. Get to do that 5 times, 2,500 gems, $5. Pretty good deal for cheap gems. I mean, it is the cheapest way to buy gems, although it's not a lot of gems, not even one multiple. But, buy some extra books, everything else, make your life a little change. The more interesting thing is the special sales we got. Nothing really crazy to write home about. The big one here that I'll open up, the Imperial chest, has a little bit of everything. There's one with armor tokens, power tokens, of course nuggets, just regular nuggets and ingots, all that. But a brand new resource called bonus sphere tokens. This is a resource that does not exist in Japan. The Japanese version of the game has never gotten a resource like this through a sale. You can get, here in the U.S., you can get one of these. Yeah, on the $29.99 pack, you get one. On the $59.99 pack, you get two. And then on the there's $14.99 you get one. Is it just $15.99? Yeah, the $15.99 for 15,000 gems. That ain't bad actually. How much? What are the big tokens? The $70. How many gems do they give? Okay, it is 17,000. All right. So anyway, it's a brand new resource called Sphere Tokens. And they allow you to exchange for one full sphere of your choice. So, Mino, what? We got the sphere shop. Any sphere you want. What do you think? Is that worth, 2 spheres for $60?
Yeah, Squex clearly outdid themselves this year. Last year for Black 5's Day, we got EX Plus ingots, ingot bundles, book and ingot bundles, several months early, and that was a huge hit. And I thought there was no way they were going to outdo themselves, but now not just one but 2 sphere tokens for the 2 spheres of your choice. I mean,
to be fair, for you can buy both packs, and then you could fully sphere the character of your choice with whichever spheres,
that's true, both
with
packs,
the optimum spheres. So I mean, if you had a favorite character, let's say Maria is your favorite character for some reason, and you're like, I really want to dig down, I really want to theory craft, I want to dig in, and just for $80, you could have the premium optimal spheres. I mean, assuming no new characters, their spheres, that's out of just all the current spheres. You could do that. You can fully optimize your character. Now you can't buy resources to give them blue armor. Actually, you can do that right now. There are still high armor chest sales, which is great. Thank you. Please more of those for the love of God. Maybe some BT sales sometimes. So, wow. This is ridiculous. I don't. It's gonna make Squex a lot of money because some of y'all are stupid. And you care about spheres.
Oh,
Let's just be honest.
brutal.
Spheres don't matter. I got a whole video about it. They're not important. Just pick 3 spheres and put them on your characters that you like, and you're set. Or pick 3 refined spheres on the characters, and prioritize attack and brave damage. And obviously there's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part. But yeah, I'm pretty sure people are gonna buy these. I would encourage you not to, because I would really like Squex to maybe think about better sales than this. I mean, it's cool that it's something new, and again, I none of the whales that we know seem to be very excited about this, and that's what this kind of thing should be appealing to. But maybe Black Friday sales are really kind of more impulse shoppers as opposed to like the whale shoppers. Like, as a whale, I'm going to buy whatever I want whenever I want it, right? Whenever black ingots come out, I'm going to buy them regardless of what time of year it is. So maybe this is, I really do think it's going to make them some money. So any serious thoughts about this, Mino, or just...
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, yeah, they'll make money. So, I mean, I think both of us were expecting BT ingots, right? Early BT ingots would have been a lot of money, but spheres, they're not the worst idea.
No.
All right, like people really, really fucking care about spheres for some reason. We made a joke channel in our Discord about sphere talk, so we wouldn't have to fucking see sphere talk in general, and we just referred everyone there as a joke. But then it kept growing, and people kept having like serious and long conversations. That's our most that channel is only a few months old, and it has the most messages in any channel of our entire server's history. We've been around for like 5 years, and we kept trying to change the name. We kept trying to shut the channel down, and yet it keeps thriving. So clearly, a lot of people care a lot about spheres, and like I was saying, this isn't the worst thing to monetize, because people will pay for this shit. All right, it comes with sphere removals too.
Oh, does it really?
So, yeah.
Oh,
the sphere
nice.
Tokens and the sphere removals.
Okay, that's definitely worth it. I'm always needing to remove things.
Precious fucking spheres.
Nice.
And honestly, if this becomes like a permanent addition to these gem bundles, that might get them to sell a lot more bundles. People really, really fucking care about this shit. And if this was a concern, I don't think it should be a concern. This is a way for people to pay without the game becoming quote unquote pay to win. I don't think that should be a concern.
Yeah.
But spheres give a very like minimal amount of power. It's very marginal. So I don't think people would complain as much as BT ingots, even though BT ingots are like a month away. Yeah. Honestly. Like
they would be. Jegrin, I think, was the first sale.
Yeah. So, but like moving forward, if this is a regular thing, this could make them more money. This isn't the stupidest thing to monetize. It's not.
No, I mean, I think it's a stupid thing to buy and spend your money on, but I think it will make the money. And if you don't have Fran Sphere on your Belthier, I don't even know what you're doing. I don't just delete your game and reinstall. But they were talking about Sphere recommendations in chat. So that's my Sphere recommendation for the night. Put Fran's E-Sphere on Belthier. What are you doing if you don't do that? Oh, no Billie Eilish ad, man. You probably got something for what am I always when I watch Black Nero on YouTube, what commercials am I always getting? I always get some weird ass commercials when I watch your YouTube. So it probably says more about me than it says about you. Well, there's some new stickers too, so make sure you pick up your Belthier stickers. Final Fantasy 12 Belthier stickers. They say, "Here's my cue. Keep it up. Whew, watch out." Um, I can't even say it. Lucky break, and we part here. So that's awesome. I will pick those up eventually, but I just spent all my things. Can we discuss the one character who can possibly use Belthier Sphere? Yeah, you can join our Discord and go to Theory Crafters. That is our channel for all that kind of conversation. Poor Belthier Sphere. It is not the
Where is
greatest.
this Sphere channel? I want to rename it. Mark turned it into, it used to be Sphere Talk, and then Mark changed it to Theory Crafters Inc. I forget why. I never agreed with it, but people are legitimately looking for the Sphere channel and not connecting the dots. So we should put Sphere back in there.
Yeah. Well, if one of our mods is on, please change the Theory Crafters channel. Hey, V Al, thank you for the subscribe. Oh no, this is Goose. Goose. Oh, Goose, we're going to talk about you later. Thank you for the 5 gift subs, Goose. That's some more love for Maria.
But yeah, if you want to talk about spheres, we welcome sphere discussion in our server. Just make sure it stays in one of the 2 channels I have permanently muted. We're going to rename it, but it's called Theory Crafters Inc. right now. And same, if you ever want to talk about FF14, worst FF channel is that way. I made these channels so I'd never have to see any of this fucking shit. So
let's J.A, our fearless mod, is here. J.A, let's change the name of that channel to Sphere Token Discussion. So people have a place to talk about what they're going to use their sphere tokens on. Isn't that what they're called? Sphere tokens, the Sphere Token Shop. Yeah, bonus sphere token exchange. So do something like that. Bonus sphere token discussion. So Mino and I can completely ignore that channel and never have to go in there. Hey, we also got some stream rewards, and that was great because we always like free stuff. So thank you, Squex. Thank you, Squex Joshua and Squex Crystal, for putting on that Sunday afternoon Squex community stream. Really appreciate that. That was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed that. Not a lot of surprises besides a lot of free multi-polls and a couple campaigns. So I guess in some sense there's a lot of stuff. Whale sphere token discussion. Perfect. Wonderful. Well, let's talk about the first event that we got, and that is Divine Shiva. We have another Divine board. That's my lost chapter thing here. Hold on a second. Another Divine board. This time it is Shiva. And with that, we got Ardyn BT Plus and Jecht Rework and LD BT Plus. And so let's talk about the where's my guys here? Let's talk about the wow, what are we doing? This is why I don't do multiple things at once here. There we go. Let's talk about Ardyn. Ardyn comes back with a BT Plus, and it's not great. He doesn't. I guess he does get a little bit of a rework, doesn't he? That bumps up his power a little bit. His BT Plus gives him a little HP damage up and HP damage limit. And that's pretty much it. So poor stupid Ardyn kind of is considered, and I don't know how you think, but one of the lowest and potentially worst BT pluses in the game. He just for a damage dealer. He's a melee attacking damage dealer, consecutive turn, instant break, rebreak. He just isn't doing that with the kind of same damage output that other contemporary characters are doing. Jecht, Twins, perhaps even Ace, Garland. I mean, Zidane has different kinds of utility, but I know there's a few people that really, really are big fans of Ardyn, and so they're going to use him, and you can use him. He's a BT Plus character. Arguably, BT Plus characters are a lot better than most other characters, LD only characters, but he just doesn't get a lot. So, Mino, any thoughts about Ardyn BT Plus?
Not really. I've said it before. I don't really like to cover these returning characters. I know some are worth it, but it's just. I mean, what what is there to say about Ardyn? He just got little bumps here and there. It doesn't make his kit relevant. It just brings him up a little bit, but nothing significant to add. I'm just gonna be honest. Are you interested in using him? His kit doesn't change. His numbers barely changed. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't really get. I mean, his BT effect is not amazing, very truthfully. So, yeah, I mean, it's just unless he is a favorite character. I mean, I would think of the BT pluses, and we won't like we're not going to talk about Kadaj today, but he did get something new at least. He got his BT plus, Ardyn, but of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 BT pluses that we have currently, I definitely think he's the bottom of those 10. And probably remains the bottom of those 10 for quite some time. So, but hey, we can't all be winners, and I'm sure Ardyn will get his time in the sun someday. That does bring us to the next character, and that's everybody's favorite dad from Final Fantasy X, Jecht, who comes back with his big fire attack and melee damage dealing, instant break, reset break, consecutive turn, monstrous killing spree awesomeness. And he gets an LD that makes him, that breaks everybody, gives him free ability use on the next use, gives him a really nice buff that enchants him, and also gives him that kind of imperil feature, so he's always imperiling. It's on him, kind of like Vaughn, so it's not something that is on a debuff. It's actually on his buff. More damage, more HP damage, and a little bit. It gets that Iroha effect where he retains his Brave. So he gets all of that with his LD and gets additional Brave, what you call Overflow or Brave Steel, as well when he's hitting weakness damage. So that's all from his buff, and it's a 16-turn duration. He does burn through his buffs fairly quickly because he is a quick character and he can take consecutive turns, but 16 turns and 3 uses of it, you're not generally going to run out of that. He also gets his BT, which it does a crap ton of damage, and if it is green, which why wouldn't you? I mean, you really want to fully invest in him. All blue armor and green. His blue armor is completely selfish attack armor, but boosts him up. Great attack auras, brave damage up, brave limit up, brave regen, and when he's attacking a broken target, even more brave damage and more brave damage limit up. So he's doing just a shit ton of brave damage and a shit ton of attacks. I mean, he just has a lot of brave hits across all of his skills. I mean, his Jecht Slash has 4 hits twice. Obviously the BT has 15. So I mean, just massive damage. He's kind of the BT plus damage dealers, he's definitely, I think, the highest that we've had. I think Machina is going to be kind of his competition. Arguably, against 3 targets, Twins might outdamage him a little bit, but a couple people I know have been running some of those numbers, and generally speaking, Jecht's going to do well across 1, 2, and 3 enemies, where Twins kind of get worse the less enemies that you have. So I have Jecht fully kitted. I have him green and blue, and he's great. He's one of the few that I wanted to invest in as a BT plus. I think he works real good. I know Mino's going to talk a little bit about the learning curve with him. I forgot his AA even existed when I did this Lufania Plus. I think at the end of the day, you can pretty much press buttons with him and he's going to do damage. But you can obviously play him better than, certainly I did, and hone his awesomeness a little bit. So, you want to talk about more insights on Jecht, or I'll just pass it to you for now. We can talk more about Jecht if we have some ideas.
Okay, sure. I mean, I think you touched on a lot of it. Just to briefly go over what some people were saying in chat. Uh, very self-sustainable. With the fire imperil aura, he's never being absorbed. He comes with everything he needs. The brave discount means he usually can keep himself up fine. Although, just doing this newest Lufania, I ran into some issues because I think their brave reduction got really high.
Hmm.
And he actually at the end there in the final stretch in the red health, he wasn't hitting hard enough to refund enough to keep his plus skills. So it is a little bit of a concern, but most times it should be no issue maintaining his pluses. The brave discount's a really nice gimmick. The breaks, the consecutive turns. He can instant break, re-break, or just hit really hard. Like his kit's really good. I think I was talking to Majed, who's a Japanese player, and he's used Jecht for like 99% of the fights moving forward. We're entering guard. He's very self-sustainable. A lot of people are saying his kit feels balanced, his kit feels good. So I'll just take my time and point out some of the jank in his kit. I don't know if this is gonna matter because we had this whole discussion about like, oh, Jecht is easy to play, but I'm still gonna stand my ground and say there's a ton of room for optimization. The biggest thing to note is that right now, he has this bugged buff. So his skill 1 and skill 2 are supposed to give him his EX buff.
Oh,
The
yes,
EX buff
right.
is what grants him the consecutive free turns.
Yeah.
If that falls to 1 turn, or if it falls off completely and you try to refresh it with S1 or S2, it doesn't do anything. And I've run across that in my normal play. I don't know how many people are actually running into that, but I've run across it in my normal play just doing this recent fight where if I let that EX buff hit 1 turn left and then I hit a skill, he will not get that consecutive free. And that's really something to think about. Well, I think it's something to think about. The others like BC, Nidre, Macnol, I think they're playing through. They don't really mind. They don't really notice. Most people won't use Jecht for a long time. Is if you're popping his EX as it comes up, you're not going to notice. But this bugged buff really bugs me, and you got to play around it a little bit if you're going to stretch out his usage. So there's that. And there's all these little things. Mark is saying, oh, what's the AA for? Like, you could use it to space out his moves so he gets more consecutive
Yeah,
attack.
you can get more consecutive turns if you pop his
Right.
AA. Yep. Well,
Yeah,
it
there's all
does
these little
refresh
things.
his skill too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
useless it's not a useless AA. Yeah.
There's all these arguments between Tonberry Troupe says always use his LD free skill on the AA, but I feel like using the free
Oh.
skill on the S2 is the same thing
Yeah.
because you just recover. It's just an extra. Like there's a lot of little intricacies. I'm gonna skip this because I know the server's tired of hearing me talk about it. I still stand by. He has a high skill ceiling. There's a lot of optimization to be had. The ultimate question is this necessary? And the answer is probably not. Probably if you go in there and just mash buttons, you'll be fine, right? How did Macnol put it? I think S1 for the re-break, LLD for the instant break, EX for buff upkeep, S2 for damage. It's all you need to do to effectively use Jecht well. But I'm going to stick to my nerdy corner and say I really do enjoy trying to push it to the limits.
Hey, we
And,
got a super chat. So
yeah.
Ian Jaff, 5 some types of money. Not sure what CA is. So thank you, Ian. Love the podcast. Thanks for the informative show. I don't know how words sound either. Thanks for the informative show every week. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And you can super chat, and we will make sure that we read what you say. If you super chat, subscribe, become a member, put a little note in there, and we will pay attention to you. That is the best way to make us stop and pay attention to you during the show.
Yes, thank you, Ian.
But yeah, no.
Oh, sorry. Just to round it off, basically, newbie friendly character, I think. Mark, would you agree with that? You're
Yeah.
someone who doesn't care about Jecht. You've used him. Does he feel easy to use to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, right. I mean, because his skill one unbreaks and rebreaks now, or you cancels break and flicks break, so that makes his consecutive turns a lot easier. Whereas other characters, you have to time your consecutive turns a little bit better. As long as you know, kind of, if you want to do more damage, press skill 2. If you want to unbreak, get consecutive turns, press skill 1. Keep his EX up, and you can decide to mess with his AA or not. But at the end of the day, it's fairly minimal buff management, and then hitting buttons to do massive damage.
We've got the duality of man in our chat right now. Two comments, one right after the other, saying completely opposite things. One reality says, I think Jecht has more depth than people may give him credit for. Thank you, One Reality. I agree. And then Bunks immediately says, press buttons and everything dies. So
Well, I mean,
my,
I
I guess
think
my final verdict
I
is
think both can be true.
yes, I think my final verdict is both audiences find Jecht fun, right? Like you can either go in and just press buttons and see him do his thing and he'll still be good. Or if you want to be the nerdy min-maxer like me who enjoys characters like Eldnarsh and Shulk and really like the quote-unquote decision points. I just hate saying decision points. I get teased about it so much now. Zeno was here this morning talking about that. But yeah, if you want an intricate character, Jecht can fulfill that. But if you want a very low maintenance, solid DPS, Jecht can fulfill that as well. I believe Mark said in his tier list that Jecht is probably, like, we talk about BT pluses being whatever, but Jecht is probably one of the last notable ones before garbage time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really think he is, and I think in terms of the first few months of BT plus, I think it's probably a good idea, unless you got twins and you really want to ride twins out. Jet or Machina are really good options to pick one of those two, kind of as your primary damage dealer, big damage. But yeah, I mean it's we're coming through we're coming to kind of easy, smooth sailing. And yeah, Jecht can carry you through the entirety of this next era if you really want him to. There's going to be a couple, I think Divine Ifrit is going to be the exception, right? There's going to be a couple fights that he will be locked out of because they are absorbing his element. And I think a Divine Ifrit may be the only fight that is the case.
Yeah, I think it's the only one.
You'll have other. I mean, that's going to be just a month or so, and you have other options, obviously, to get through that fight as well. It's not a terrible. That's also the introduction of ultimate weapon. So if you'd rather have, I mean, you kind of think. I mean, personally speaking, I think it's a good bet to pick up either Jet or Machina in these next couple months. Machina can be enchanted and perilled, so he potentially is a little easier to play. But I think overall Jet's a lot more interesting and fun, and who likes Machina?
I'm very happy
seriously.
with Jecht. Somebody asked me, like, do you think they did Jecht or did they do Jecht right? I'm having a lot of fun with him, and just to try to shoe in the new thing I want to try. Mark, did you pull? Did you not pull? Why?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Pierre says, you said big damage. What about Ace carrying over Jecht? Ace is definitely better than Jecht. And
I hate Jecht. Can we make that stop? I hate Tuna. I hate Yubi. I hate all of these fan names. El Nacho. Jesus Christ.
I did pull. I do love Final Fantasy X. It is one of my higher rated Final Fantasies. What do you say? It's probably maybe my second favorite of the series. After 8. So I really did want it, and I did kind of want a big damage dealer. I've held out. I've only greened Bartz and Zidane. Zidane's a favorite of mine. Bart's is just good utility. So I held off on Ace. I held off on Vayne. I held off on Cloud of Darkness. Didn't do the Twins or Garland or Ardyn, obviously. So Jecht was my really kind of good pick here. And so, yeah, I mean, so far so good. He's obviously helping you through Divine Shiva, and that's worth something. And he's going to be fine on Tier 6 too. So there's kind of two of the hardest fights coming up, and he's going to be very good on both of those. So I think that's worth it as well. And I could give two shits about Machina because I don't care about Machina at all. So yeah.
I pulled, of course, favorites being the big thing. I've always liked his kit, but mainly Brave Discount is one of my favorite mechanics in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Very happy to see it come back after a while. I forget who also. Oh yeah, Ursula gets it next. So all the characters I like. All the characters I like really, really get Brave Discount. So I love that mechanic. I love the decision point stuff. So as I said, if you do enjoy thinking a little more and being a giant nerd, Jecht is a fun character to play with.
Yeah, I think, and I think he does pair well with a lot of different. I think you can just kind of pit him in as your damage dealer and build around him, and he's going to be fine, regardless of who you had.
Thank you. That reminds me of one thing I want to say about Jecht before we move on. Is that I remember seeing part of this discussion about selfish damage dealers like Jecht because he provides minimal auras on his BT, and that's the only thing that provides auras, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is for himself. And to tie it back to I think Corvax's question last week, or was it Trevo? No, it was Corvaxis asking about how do you do turn hog. Like, I don't even keep his BT up for the party, right? Like, I view it as a personal buff. So once he gets his BT buff, I just go crazy with him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It doesn't. And so the thing about this is a character that you can build as, I think, your solo DPS. Like, if you build solely around him, he can carry your damage. What I mean is, if you give him like all the brave gains and all the brave damage in the world and all the support, he can probably do enough damage by himself to finish fights.
Yeah.
Very clearly. Yeah, because he's doing like his S2 amped up is doing 600 to 700k a hit. His burst phases are high. Like, he can do it by himself.
Yeah, well, you can check out all of his kind of stats and details on the Tonberry Troupe infographic, tonberrytroupe.com. Our friends at the Tonberry Troupe doing that cool infographic. Great art on that one as well. Who did the art on that?
Yoshimura.
Yeah, Yoshimura is doing that. Really nice. That's a really nice art there. I really do appreciate his art. Or their art, I should say. And Quetzalma and J.A putting the podcast polls up. MateriaBot, go support MateriaBot as well. You can support Tonberry Troupe Patreon. MateriaBot also has a Patreon. And across 9 servers, 11 people outright pitying the BT like I did. I didn't have to pity it, but I was going to get it on the initial banner. 28 LD pities, 7 using gems, 77 tickets, and 32 skips. So a little all over the place, but a lot of people going for everybody's favorite dad. So let's talk about the fight considered one of the crappiest of crappy fights in the Lufania Plus era. Divine Shiva sees you fighting Divine Shiva, as you would assume you did. You start with one Shiva, and once that one Shiva gets to, I believe, 29% of its health, it turns into 2 Shivas. There you go. At 79% of its health, it does get a Resist Veil, which is a big fat damage shield. When it starts in the Avatar mode, which is the split mode, it gets an Orb, which is upticked by fire damage, but only by 1, so you need to constantly be doing fire damage. The good news is you can survive the orb, and you will have to because it will pop regardless of the orb count. We'll get to that. So, at 79%, at 49%, and at 29%, once you get the split Shivas, they will get the Resist Veil, the big damage shield, and they will immediately Diamond Dust when they get a turn. They don't, or when they can act, they don't do it during summon or during burst. And so Diamond Dust, it's everybody's favorite move, freezes the party. It does inflict some debuffs. They can inflict all kinds of debuffs. They're awful. They're all terrible debuffs. None of them are fun. But yeah, they can do that. And it freezes you, and then they get to act, and yeah, you'll just got to take it. And then at 19%, the orb will just pop. They just do their orb attack. Doesn't care. Yeah, regardless, it could be at 10 count. Nope, they'll pop the orb. They also have crazy defense. They also resist knockback damage. They also cannot be, or no, they have a reflective thing where they do lock and they cannot be delayed or deleted, but they also then reflect, delay, and delete. So if you delete them, they delete you. If you delay them, so they really wanted to make sure that everything that you would want to do to these things, you can't do to these things.
They wanted to make sure you can't no-turn the boss, yep. And I always gauge how anti-no-turn a boss is based on how much Clay rages about
it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whoa, your words, not mine. But yeah, the last time he really raged about a fight was the Unilufania, where those debuffs came that let them turn. Yeah. So I knew that was very anti no turn, and now this one is very anti no turn.
Yeah, they also, if you get broken, and when they get their thresholds, they automatically break you. But if they break you on off turns, they will get shields, and so don't do that. Yeah, so you can also bypass the HP thresholds, so you can jump from 79 to 49%. So they only do it once. That's one way to do it as well. Man. What do I want to say about this fight? And I'm sure you have plenty of thoughts about this fight.
Plenty.
There are basically two ways to approach this fight, and they're DissidiaFFOO.com. Scott Ong's got his video. Destros got a little guide. Excalibur's got an infographic. We got a whole thread. All these clears called the arms. There's all kinds of different interesting. I've seen already TCC challenges with this. No BT, no BT plus runs. So it's possible. But I really think there are two main strategies. The first one, which some people consider the easiest, I actually don't think it's the easiest, just having watched some of these runs, is the off-turn damage. So a lot of ace runs, ace BT plus, all you who were convinced that you got a BT plus ace, and I think that was a good choice. I think he's been very, very useful. I again don't care about type 0. Not going to BT plus ace. So off turn damage with ace, very, very good. Porum can do some of that off turn damage. Cloud of Darkness, although you have to be careful with Cloud of Darkness. Who else was in the off turn damage?
Orin was a big pick. Core was a big pick. Did you bring these up?
Yeah. They both have, but Core and Orin do not work when frozen. The traps, like Ace does the frozen damage. So Ace is doing damage after they're frozen, which is
Ace
really
is the
helpful.
only one, right? Because Todd's frozen, and everyone else. Ace is the only one that really bypassed the freeze.
Yeah. Porum and Agrius can do some shutdown things as well, so you can play that as well. But really, the other kind of idea is to really go defensive. Warrior of Light can shield through this, right? Orin and Core can eat. The TCC Extreme run that I saw, I think Scott Ong did it, and then somebody else, Katsufume did it, was Orin, Core, and Zach. So I mean, they're all three defensive damage dealers, but they really can make it work together. So I mean, those are kind of the Orin Core. The Orin Core combo can just destroys it. Warrior of Light can really be a defensive boon. Ace can do just a ton of off-turn damage and help mitigate them. Obviously, if you want to bring Lulu, Ignis for kind of call support to keep people fire enchanted, that's fine. Really, the orb is the least of your concern. The big thing you got to think about is, how do I survive the threshold attacks? How do I survive getting frozen and actually getting taken? Mino, what are your thoughts about this fight? I actually don't think, given the resources we have and the characters we have, I actually don't think it's the hardest Lufania fights. I think it is. There's just a lot going on, probably too much going on. I don't think it's the hardest fight that we've had.
I think I have to disagree with a few points Mark's made. But first, unprofessional of me, I need to double back a bit just to keep it on the record. People were asking in chat about the Jecht bug. Credit goes to Majed. He's the one that pointed me out. I got a lot of Jecht information for him. But yeah, people were saying they thought they imagined it. Right. His S1 and S2, when reapplying the EX buff, is bugged. It will not give him the consecutive turns. You have to use the EX. Normal play will not see that. But yeah, a lot of you Jecht min-maxers, you guys are seeing it already. So if that bothers you, it's still not fixed in JP. Go bug Josh about it. Leave it in GL feedback. I feel like the game has too many bugs at this point for me to personally report them all. So I'm just playing around them at this point. I'm not trying to, be their beta tester for free. So Inkwelder said he was going to report on that. So Inkwelder, get on it. This fight, I disagree with Mark about the two strategies. I feel like you need off-turn and mitigation. All the teams he listed, all the teams I saw, like Core Orin, that's off-turn and mitigation. You've got Core going after every attack and Orin's countering as well. And
that's off-turn damage, but it's not off-turn when you're frozen.
I think the only off-turn when they're frozen is Ace.
Right.
But otherwise, the turn count is so tight. The turn count is deceptively tight. It says 70 turns, but every time you get frozen, you're losing anywhere from 3 to 6 turns.
Yeah.
Depending on how you lined it up. So if you have the 3 guaranteed freezes, you can lose up to 15 turns. So the turns actually 55 turns, and everyone's running some sort of off-turn damage, whether it be Core, whether it be Orin counters. Ace is the easiest one. Ace is the easiest one because he gets through the freeze, but everyone else is still bringing Core, and people are talking about turn hoggers like Shulk and Jecht. When it comes to mitigation, Wall's the easiest because if they break you, they jump turns, their recast is higher, and they freeze you as well, which is something that wasn't mentioned. So that's why Wall is so easy. He prevents the breaks. Everyone else has a harder time. Porum and Orin are common mitigators, but they can eat the breaks if you're not prepared. You still have to play around that. If the orb goes off, it significantly reduces your Brave damage by 10 turns each. That's slowed a lot. That's killed a lot of runs. That's slowed people down. If the recast lines up with the thresholds, you gotta separate those, or they're gonna freeze you back to back, and you lose like 12 turns, right? Like, it's pretty. There's a lot going on, and I can understand why so many people are running the perfect team for this, which is Ace, Wall, Jecht, and still trying multiple times. Mark said this was the first fight, the first quote unquote hard fight that only took him one try, but I think Mark just either played incredibly well or was because I really think this fight was a step above some of the fights that came before. There's a lot more failures posted all over the place too.
I actually think Warrior of Light is a harder. People are saying Warrior of Light's the easiest. I actually think it's harder to keep Warrior of Light defensive stuff up than it is Orin and Core. I think Orin and Core is the easiest combo. And I will tell you this because Muhammad is asking, hey, Mark, I don't have a single green and I've cleared everything so far, but I'm having difficulties with this fight. And I'm on DissidiaFFOO.com, call to arms. And already, because we do TCC We just kind of have a general TCC challenge now. The general TCC challenge, no BT plus, no boosted. The extreme is no BT or BT plus. So no BT, no BT plus, no boosted. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 TCC challenge extremes for this fight. The vast majority are Orin core, because I actually think that is the easiest way to do it. Ace Orin core, again, no BT, no BT plus. Porum Orin core, Queen Corin Or, Shelk Orin core, Vane core Ignis, that's a pretty good one. Warrior of Light Orin core, Zach Orin core, Zell core Ignis. Buddy, shout out to Buddy. That's a pretty impressive run. Freaking Zell? You gotta be kidding me. With Ignis in the party. Mad props to Buddy NTTU. That is a TCC challenge run. That's
very impressive.
Vane LD only core and Ignis is pretty impressive too. That's Final Asim did that. That's Shout impressive. Out to Final Asim. That's pretty. So yeah, I actually do think the Orin core is a lot easier than a lot of the other strategies. So, and that's what I did.
You did.
Yeah.
What did you run? Your full team? Orin core.
Orin core and Jecht. Yeah.
Okay. So let me catch up on chat. And sorry guys, a lot of you guys are saying a lot of things. We'll get to it eventually. Final Asim, you redeemed a Q&A. We'll get to that naturally. We haven't forgotten about you, but because there's so many things to say. Yeah, Mark, I can kind of see it. Some people are agreeing with you that Bishop 71 saying I agree with Mark. Orin core seems to be the path of least resistance. I thought it was wall ace personally, to be honest. I also one-shotted this, but with wall ace, and I was like, oh, this is easy because ace is making up for so much damage and wall is blocking everything. But a lot of people are weighing in. I only did this fight once. I didn't go back to try different things. I'm pretty sure Mark did as well. So chat's giving us a lot more insight. In saying wall is harder because you have to make up for the DPS. You have to compensate for his DPS. Correct. I had Ace, which I feel like is the best DPS option because he's the only one doing damage.
Yeah, during the frozen time.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I feel like I thought Wall and Ace was the best combo, but there's a lot of Orin core here as well. So I'm glad Mark and I both did it differently, and I'm going to defer to him. If he says Orin core is easier, then I'll believe him. People in chat are still saying, though, with Wall Ace or Orin core took them like 10 plus tries. So, I know we were discussing in the mod channel, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of timing issues. Like if you're playing Ace, there's a lot of people who fuck Ace up, who don't know how to play him properly and couldn't get the trap on time between the freezes. People are reporting that they like popped a BT plus or some buffs and they got frozen and that all went to shit, right? Like it all went to nothing. I don't know what problems Orin core came up with. I didn't play it. Were there anything?
No.
Nothing to look out for? Nothing to look out for with Orin core?
No, and again, I mean, I think the TCC challenges pretty much speak to that. Orin and core just literally make things. Now you need to put, as long as you put core's buff on the third character, because Orin can take care of himself, and then core is protecting the other character, the third character. So basically, you have three characters. Unless you're
that's so smart. So smart.
Unless your third character is Zach or Warrior of Light, and you can do Warrior of Light core Orin and Zach core Orin, then they're all being protected by each other. Like that's just full defensive. So
that's so smart. Fuck. I didn't even think of that. So I defer to Mark in chat. More people are saying Orin core is easier than Wall Ace. So hey, there you go, Muhammad. Like if you don't want to green anyone. Apparently, Orin core... Well, core's not available anymore. Orin's still up. So if you wanted to, that's probably the lowest budget clear you can get. Ali Bulko is asking, can you comment about the twins being the most common support?
Yeah.
I didn't use a support in my run. And I think if I did, I would have wanted COD. What did you do, Mark?
Yeah, I think, again, Cloud of Darkness, if you want to try to do big big burst phase damage. But the twins are doing so much damage against the two Shivas that, I mean, they can basically, I think if you're using twins to get into a summon phase and burst from 79 or 80% down below 49%. And
Okay, that's a smart use.
with twins you can do that. So
That's smart.
Yeah.
I know there's a timing issue in there as well, right?
Yep.
Because I know that there are points where Shiva absorbs every element other than fire.
Yeah.
So there's a timing issue
Yeah.
when to summon, when to twins as well. So yeah, this fight has a lot going on.
It does, yeah.
With it, honestly. And so I strongly disagree with Mark. I think this is probably one of the hardest fights we've seen in this game. The results speak for themselves. I've never seen so many failures posted in a long time.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Don't, I mean, this is not an easy fight. Don't yeah.
Yeah, and so final ASIM's Q&A is, so ultimately, how did we feel about the fight? Did you enjoy the fight or not? Mark, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I didn't hate the fight. Again, I thought, I thought they piled a little too much on top. But like, I mean, we were poking fun at Clay because, I mean, obviously pissed off anytime the boss takes actions and there's nothing he can do about it.
Mark's words, not mine.
No, it's his words. You can watch. Go watch Dystopia. You can watch his commentary. He's obviously pissed off because the boss is taking turns and freezing him. He literally says that. It's not out of context. He's not. That video's got like 4,000 views. He's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care what we're saying. But yeah, no, again, I think there was just a little too much. That being said, with the right characters in your toolbox, then it wasn't. I don't know, I guess, what I would have done to make it different. Like, I mean, they obviously want the freeze to be a big mechanic.
Yes.
So, I mean, the freeze thresholds, I think, is fine. I guess maybe they didn't need the shields, but if they don't get the shields, then twins would melt them. I mean, twins and Jecht would just melt without the shields. I mean, they hardly have any HP. Let's see if I look at the 4 million for the main one and 15 million for the split. Really, I mean, not a ton of HP.
Says, the veil on break needed to go.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's probably
fair.
a little excessive. Yeah. That they get 1 million every time they break you. That's a little fair. All right.
Maybe the 19% where they pop their orb. Like who cares? Come on. Or maybe make the orb a little bit more forgiving, +2 when fire damage. I don't know. I understand them not wanting to be, preventing launch damage. I like the reflect, delay, and delete. I think that's a really good mechanic.
That's cool. I don't know if it ever comes back. I think it's unique here.
No,
cool.
I mean, I think that's a cooler mechanic than just they're immune to delay and delete. Because that way you can actually play around with that. And there's some interesting team comps you can do if you intentionally delay and delete your characters. So I'm actually okay with that.
COD was actually a big pick for this for that exact reason, right? Because a lot of people would use her to delay herself, and then she'd just have her BT plus effect up the entire fight because she'd never get a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So I didn't hate the fight. I think we've had some. Obviously there's just a lot of stuff going on here, and it is a frustrating fight, and it is a difficult fight. But I think there have been some more kind of shitty fights, at least in my opinion, than this fight. So again, I didn't go. I'm not TCC challenging it. Then I went full force. Everything I brought, all three of those guys had blue armor and Jecht has green BT. So, I wasn't messing around with it either. So, but yeah, I guess maybe a few more tweaks would have made it a little less painful for everybody. I don't know.
Yeah. I think ultimately I liked the fight more than I hated it. Chat's bringing up a lot of things that could have been better. Right? They didn't need to freeze that many times. They didn't need to freeze on recast. Just
Right.
through the thresholds would be enough. That's a valid point. Uh, Maybe the absorb every element other than fire was overkill. That's probably a valid point. The
Yeah, there's
million
just
skill
there's
on
just a
breaks.
lot there's just a
There's a
lot of
lot.
shit.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of shit.
Maybe too much, but this is closer to what I like because usually there's not enough going on.
Right.
For example, like people are comparing this to the Kate fight. I don't think the Kate fight had a lot of mechanics. I think it was just a fucking slog.
No, it was just
Like,
yeah.
yeah. They just wanted it was very basic fight. They just wanted you to kill the ads fast enough and then beat up the
Yeah.
boss. Like that's it. They just wanted you to do it like 50 times. So
Yeah,
that
I enjoyed this fight more than that.
yes, for sure. And so like I can see how some people think that maybe they threw in one or two mechanics too many. But overall, I enjoy the concept of the fight. I think most people are just thinking it's too much at once, which is a fair criticism. A lot of people are saying they didn't know orb going off significantly nerf your brave damage. Yeah, like that's why a lot of people aren't making turns as well. It really kills your
Yeah.
damn. You can't just ignore the
Yeah,
orb
tight
just
turn
because it's
count too.
non-lethal. Yeah, just because it's non-lethal doesn't mean
Yeah, it
ignore
doesn't
it.
mean you should take like it. Yeah. Yeah, no it
Yeah, and so it had a lot going on. I like a lot of the concepts. I like this kind of non-lethal orb. I feel like DPS checks are the most fair. So having the orb just really gimp you on the DPS check, like the big danger is the orb going off and not meeting the turn requirements. That's I like that direction. That's good. Um, the freezes I don't mind. I don't know. I've played plenty of games and I was showing in mod chat like anyone that plays FF14, this is what you see. Like every big fight has these big attacks you're supposed to save all your mitigation for and just take. Like that's the design of the fight. I know Defo usually pushes you towards no turning things, but I don't think it's terrible to have you take force attacks. And like it
right.
makes tanks relevant. It makes tanks and supports and healers relevant. I'm okay with that. Maybe they didn't need to do it on recast and threshold, but some people just really hated that mechanic period because I've seen in a lot of servers people are like, oh yeah, this is real fun not being able to do anything and just eating attacks. Like the concept of the boss getting turns at all was so offensive to them. I don't think that's an issue. um but right, I can see why this goes against the usual defo design, why some people might have not liked it, but I like what they tried. I agree they went a little overboard, but I like that they what they tried ultimately.
Well, and I think some people really want to like, I green Zidane, so I want to bring Zidane to everything. Well, or I want to Sid Reigns, Avmal, Bart's everything. Well, that's not how I play the game. I'm more interested in using different team comps and
Yeah.
different characters. I mean, yeah, I'm going to use Bart's a lot and Zidane a lot and Jecht a lot because they're green. I'm going to use my blue armor characters a lot too. But you have different characters. This is a roster game. This is not a one team game. This is not a game like Genshin where you build up a couple teams and you can really ride a few characters the entirety of the game. No, you're supposed to build a big fat roster. I just finished fully purpling every EX that I have, except for the one I'm missing, Prompto. So yeah, because you're supposed to have a lot of different characters, and so that's okay. So this fight, you can't no turn it. So you got to find other ways around it. Well, guess what? We have a whole bunch of defensive characters that can make it possible for you to take damage. Make sure that you get them. So, and you can bring Zidane with Corrin, Orin, or whoever else. Freya probably with Corrin, Orin too. They may not make damage. I don't know. They might not make turns, but yeah. Well, again, Dissidia Info, our friend Macnol, and support Macnol. Dissidia Info, Tonberry Troupe, and MateriaBot, we support here at the Crystal Chronicles on Patreon, so consider doing that as well. And I'm sure they thank you for that. Well, the as we transition from that to Kadaj's Lost chapter, we did talk a little bit about the Black 5 Day sale, but what we did not anticipate is Belthier getting a rework and his early LD boards, about 3 weeks early. He was on Jegrin as a campaign banner. I think that was a campaign banner, right? In
Yes, it was
Japan, yeah.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, it would have been Jegrin and Yuffie on a campaign banner as well. So, what's that mean for Belthier? Well, we got Belthier as a GL first LD. That was very fun, and I love him and use him. He's a dispeller, cleanser. He steals buffs. That's been his main thing. Range damage dealer, and then with his LD, he gets that little Sky Pirate buff. That gives you a little bit of party support, Brave, attack, overflow, brave damage, and HP damage. So that's always been really nice. With his rework, he actually does damage on skill 1 and skill 2. So when you press them, they do damage, which is really nice. Yeah, really nice that they do damage. Really nice. And then his LD boards make him hit a little harder, but they cleansed. Did it cleanse? It cleansed before, right? And then the I think the big thing with his LD boards is when he presses his LD, he recovers use of skill 1 and skill 2. So, yeah, GRW18 says Belthier has attack keystone. He does have attack high armor. He has pure selfish DPS attack armor. I split HP and Brave. I don't know why. It would have been much nicer if he had support armor, but he is attack armor, and he is doing. Actually, as you see, my Belthier is blue. He is one of my favorite characters in the game, and in Final Fantasy, I love Belthier. Yeah, he's doing good. Who should I get as my third with Jecht and Orin? Don't have Ace. Do you have Core? That would be the other. That would be the nice
7-month hiatus, probably not.
one. Oh yeah. Have Trey. You know who is probably going to be really good? You don't have Ace or Cloud of Darkness. Garnet, Trey, Emperor. Trey may work. If you pull Maria probably will help on or on.
Yeah, a lot of these recent supports are gonna go well with Jecht. Garnet has the follow-up after every so many turns.
I mean, Warrior of Light, Orin Warrior of Light and Jecht probably would work as well because
Wall's not on a banner though, right?
No, but I mean, if you've been playing if you played for a while, you might have Warrior of Light LD. That's all I meant to say. But yeah, if not, then Maria might help because she does off turn with her traps and their healing, so just to keep you alive. So, Liz, you can check out the call to arms DissidiaFFOO.com to come up with some ideas that might give you a little bit better of an idea based on your roster. So. But yeah, I think, I just have had a chance to kind of play with Belthier here for a few minutes, but it seems like he's actually doing a little bit more damage, which is exciting. That being said, I don't know that he'll, I don't know that he's the most amazing character. He needs those plus versions of his skills, that's for sure, but Mino, any thoughts on Belthier getting a rework and LD boards?
So, I mean, this is a testament to why GL time traveling is good. I'm so glad they bumped Vivi and Balthier up almost an entire year. Vivi was bumped up a full, yeah. Both of them were bumped up like 10, 11 months. I'm so glad they did that because they were very popular and relevant in GL when they came early.
Right.
Even without their fucking boards. Now, I haven't seen Vivi in like almost any fucking runs at all. Like I couldn't remember I can tell you the last time I saw someone run Vivi unironically. And now with Balthier, it's the same thing. What seemed super impressive almost a year ago seems very mediocre now. The only reason I would tell anyone to get Balthier at this point is if they really, really skipped all cleansers and debuffers up to this
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
And you really need one. Like you really need one because who knows when Vanilla will ever come back? Probably never.
Oh, he does.
And
He does have his LD call now. So if you're looking for a call ability that can cleanse and debuff, Balthier's call ability, his LD ability, can cleanse and debuff now. So that is kind of nice.
Final Asim says power creep is power creep. No, this is when they were supposed to come out.
Yeah.
GL got them early. This is when they were supposed to come out in JP. Balthier's still 3+ fucking weeks early. So this isn't an issue of power creep. This is an issue of underwhelming on release. And so, as we were saying earlier, like the only reason I could vouch for Balthier is if you're a new player, you really need that cleanse and dispel in your kit, in your roster. Who knows what the fuck we're going to get hit by. This time last year, this is when all the abysses came out. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if some bullshit came out during Christmas or New Year's for GL. Some unexpected content. So if you really need a dispeller at this point, you really need a cleanser or just a very easy aura bot. Because yes, these auras are kind of commonplace at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But for Balthier, it's permanent, and he just sits there, and you're good. That's all you need. But on his own, not super impressive. People were telling me he gets personal Brave discount now, so I missed it. I said Ursula was the next one. Balthier gets it, but his Brave gain is Brave Shave.
On what? What's it? Where's he get personal?
On his LD boards. LD boards. If you want to look for it. Apparently his LD boards give it.
I am looking. I'm trying to see where he gets.
Thank you, Daniel, for the sub while Mark searches.
Oh, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, so he apparently gets 30% Brave discount for just himself. But I know his outside of synergy, his Brave gains and his hits are iffy. Maybe if you blew him with his attack keystone, his Brave shape would actually be decent. I'm not willing to experiment.
I mean, his damage is not terrible, but he is in that weird part of a I guess at this point it's here's the thing, right? So he came a few weeks early. By the time he would have came out, at some point it doesn't even matter, right? Like, I mean, somebody made some comment I'm trying to relate it to on YouTube. Who cares? Like the next 8 months, who cares? Like everybody's okay. So
I'm not going to take that approach. I'm trying to talk about every character's pros. So, like if you like that kit or you like that character as a favorite, that's how we're going to survive garbage time.
Right. And so I mean, so Balthier, so just talk. I think he is a little, his support he's a damage dealer with support, right? So he's not a full support. He doesn't heal. He doesn't battery. He's a damage dealer with support. He does have unique mechanics. He can cleanse and dispel. So, if you need a cleanser or dispeller, he's really good for that. If you don't need cleansing and dispelling, he's going to be less useful. If you can steal buffs that are really cool, that's even better, but that's really, really niche. I mean, that's rarely going to come into place. And often your support characters, you really don't want, you want them doing a lot. You want them increasing the damage of your main damage dealers. But, I mean, you got a character like Orin who does that, some HP damage up. And at the end of the...
Thank you, the Pawns.
Yeah, thank you, Pawns. At the end of the day, he's still providing that support, I guess. So...
I've never been a fan of his kit. I'm gonna be fucking honest.
Well,
I feel like it's a last resort.
It's a last resort. No, I think that's fair because it's it's one of those piecemeal kits, right? Where he was a range damage dealer that could steal buffs, and then they just keep needing to give him a little bit more to make him useful, and they've not really recreated his kit, right? So
Party cleanse is fine, but it's tied to his LD. That's limited.
right.
Uh, you don't really want to bring him in as a dispeller because he doesn't have a full dispel like most of the other dispellers. It's partial and it's random which buffs he steals. And then his damage just doesn't justify itself either. Like he should be doing one thing really, really well, and he's clearly meant to be, or I'm guessing with his attack keystone and his potencies that he's meant to be the DPS heavy version of a dispeller, but he doesn't do the DPS that
Hit
enough DPS to
well.
justify it.
His DPS is actually somewhat competitive, I think. Right now, I mean,
You think?
not
You think?
with
Okay.
not with. I'm surprised how much damage he's doing. Let me put it that way. His
In synergy or out?
he got a well. He's not in synergy. he's
Oh, he's synergy for this event.
oh he's
For Kadaj.
synergy for this event. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his damage again, not compared to a BT plus character, but compared to other kind of primary damage dealers. I mean, think like a Zac or even a Shulk character. Yeah.
Isn't Beatrix the DPS dispeller? I disagree. I feel like Beatrix is a defensive
Yeah,
dispeller.
Beatrix is a
She's
little
there
bit more
to
defensive.
no-sell those fucking attacks, right? With her veil that nullifies damage for one turn. Like, people are mostly bringing Beatrix for defense from what I've seen. Like, of course, her follow-ups feel nice right now because they ignore defense. But all the runs that I've seen that bring Beatrix are mainly bringing it for the defensive support.
You might be surprised about the kind of damage potential that you can get out of Belthier. That being said, I think there are better damage choices and easier damage choices because again, we're gonna have another damage dealer in Shadow who's got consecutive turns, free turns, instant turns, and so at the end of the day, and follow up damage, you're gonna get more damage over time with a character like that, or a character like Ace who's doing off turn damage, even Maria doing off turn damage. And bringing a lot of the support that you need, and healing and battering. So, I certainly would not rate him as a top character. I don't think he's terrible. I think, like what you said.
Well, I mean, so let's focus it once again, Mark. If you didn't have his LD, would you pull? Would you skip? Why or why not?
Well, I pulled him because he's a favorite.
Okay, fair.
And
So you would pull him at this point if you didn't have him.
I would pull him regardless because he's a favorite. If I'm suggesting other people to pull on this banner, I would say if you don't have Setzer and you don't have Belthier, this is a great banner. If you don't have any of the three, if you don't have Ash, Setzer, and Belthier, this is a great banner. If you don't have Cleanse Dispellers, if you don't have a couple Cleanse Dispellers, I think he's worth picking up. Because every once in a while there's a fight. Now, again, BC's going to come and ask, okay, which fights? I don't know because I haven't looked ahead. So look ahead. Which fights do you need Cleanse Dispellers? And is there going to be a Cleanse and Dispeller around that you want to pick up? And if that's the case, then, yeah, go at it. So.
Yeah, I personally would skip this banner if I didn't have his LD at this point. I'm not a fan of these jack of all trade kits. I'm not a fan of these kits that just do everything kind of okay and nothing well. That's just such a I hate that shit. And for example, Prompto was the last kit that we talked up. That was the jack of all trades kit.
Yeah.
I have never used him since.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, you can use him for all of these orbs coming up." We're almost at the point where all of those events were talked about. I have not touched him since. Like, I feel like these jack of all trades fucking characters are there for as a backup. If you don't have anything else to cover that role, yeah. But I mean, like, there's always a better choice.
Well, right, and I think that's fair. This idea of, Jet's just doing a lot of damage. Shadow's just doing a lot of damage. That's what Shadow's going to be doing. He just does a lot of damage. Machina just does a lot of damage. Bart's. Bart's is just doing a lot of support. Like, I mean, um, he's doing all the support that Belthier is doing, but a lot better. And he's not doing any damage, but he's just doing it, and he's doing it really well. So,
like
you know,
one thing well. Yeah. Even Jecht, I would say, even if I wasn't bringing him for his damage, the breaks are so used. You always want one character there that can break no matter what, right? Like this whole cycle is bosses that can't be delayed other than breaks.
Right. Well, and to be fair, cleansing and dispelling is never useful unless you need it.
Cleansing dispelling is okay.
Right.
I feel like I could pick any other cleanser or dispeller, and I would prefer them for the role. Balthier has one of those rare gimmicks that they try to sell, like stealing buffs. And then
right, which almost they never bring you content where you actually need to steal buffs, right?
Exactly.
And even I think there's been like one fight in the entire history of the game that like it's been cool to steal a buff.
If you want to talk about meta, the meta of this game is that when these bosses buff themselves, it's almost always auras that you can't steal. Shields are auras.
Yep.
Huge stat buffs are auras. When they actually put buffs on themselves, the players can put stronger buffs.
Yeah, right.
Than the enemies can put. So, like, Balthier feels like he's a character designed in a fucking vacuum. And then the meta of the game, the actual full design of the game, never makes stealing buffs a very strong asset ever.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wanted to shout out. Last week, you shouted out Goose for getting up to 300 subs. Goose is taking a break from content creation from the...
taking a break? He's retired, that fuck. We shouted him out. Congratulations on 300, and he quit immediately.
That's what happens. That's what happens with the TCC bump. You get so big... from us shouting you out that the pressure of being a full-time content creator it's too much. But yeah, thank you, Goose, for all the things you've done, and take some time for yourself. That's for sure.
Thank you, Goose. On a slightly serious note, you don't have to tie yourself to a mobile gacha game. If you feel like it's holding you back from doing other things, yeah, go for it. This is a temporary stop. Please don't feel bad to leave. Props to Goose for, leaving and trying to find other things out there. That's what you should do when you're young. That being said, though, Goose, I feel like you wouldn't have burned out if you kept to your 30 seconds format. Doubling it to 60 seconds, I clearly, that's what killed you.
That was it.
Sorry, man.
Yep. That was it.
Everyone learned from it. Why is he still here? Thank you for the shout out, Goose. It's like 4 a.m. where you are. Go to sleep. Jesus Christ.
Go to bed, Goose. Go to bed. Or wake up. Have a cup of coffee. Get going for the day. Get going. No. All right. Any other spotlights this week?
Oh yeah. One more spotlight. Is it still on the outline?
I'm not reading it.
Final Asim, thank you for putting in the official main chord, that suggestion for Josh. Ask a petition more of to ask Josh to appear on TCC. Let me check right now. Last I checked, it has more upvotes than downvotes. I don't know why. I personally downvoted it. It's at 19 upvotes and 3 downvotes. I don't know why people want this. Let me just say that we've asked Josh before, ages ago, before we were feuding, and he had told me that it's not going to happen because it doesn't look good if an official Square Enix representative shows up to one of these community things. It would give the appearance that they're more official than they are, which is why they don't like hosting the Tonberry Troupe infographics on the official account either, right? Like, they don't like that potency information getting out. There's a lot of information that they don't want to personally throw out there, and they don't want to personally show that, hey, we support Tonberry Troupe, we support TCC, all the other things are less official. That's just a bad idea all around. That being said, while I would never say yes to Josh, I would easily say yes if Square Enix Crystal wanted to show up on these streams. And like I've got a lot of material. If she wants to read through our slides, if she wants to do a Q&A, we could make this like an unofficial Ope Ope for the GL version. So, Mark's, Mark's covering his face right now. So I'll wrap it up and say, Square Enix Crystal, you're welcome anytime. Even if you don't want to come on the show, if you just want to PM each other on the side, that's okay too. So yeah, back to you, Mark.
Kadaj comes back with a lost chapter. And on that lost chapter, Maria. Yeah. Maria comes. Maria is a character in this game. She's from Final Fantasy II. She's a support, and she does healing and battery and gravity damage, and she's got traps now. So she got some stuff. She gets an LD. Her LD is kind of fun because it does this. It does this trap. It's a big battery and heal and attack, but it puts this trap up. HP damage up trap, which is nice. Steals brave gain, but also steals brave that has been gained, but then also triggers this consecutive traps. So before the enemy turn, it does the first trap, which is reduce brave to 0, kind of the gravity effect. Batteries the party, heals the party, and then immediately triggers this damage dealing trap. And then lowers the trap count. So really cool. And I think really solid. I mean, I think it's a really solid option. Her skills are potty. They're not great. She didn't.
Potty?
Yeah, they're potty. She didn't get a rework, or she did? No, she did not get a rework. And because Lenda's going to get a rework, kind of contemporary support there. So yeah, when you press her skill 1 and skill 2, that feels real bad. But her LD and her LD trap feels real good. So if you, yeah, I mean, not every, there's characters like Orin where, yeah, their LD brings a lot. Maria's LD brings a lot. That being said, she's not bringing damage. So like we were just talking about with Belthier, Maria does what she does, I think, really well. Preemptive trap, battery, healing, damage, and brave damage up, and pretty good auras overall to support the party. I mean, she kind of brings everything a support character needs, and for that, I think she's a really solid pick. Mino, what do you think about Maria?
Man, Maria is what I like to call hipster bait. She has a very unique mechanic.
Yeah.
As you said, nobody else does what she does. The preemptive 100% gravity before enemy turns and heals. This is very cool for several reasons. One, it means that, well, first of all, that's just a unique thing, right? Setting the enemy brave to 0 before their turn is very helpful. If they had like 70,000 brave and they were going to HP attack you, bam, they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Or healing between consecutive enemy turns. Everyone likes to complain about turn lineup or turn order or whatever bullshit. Like if the enemy like Shiva goes like 4 fucking times in a row, you're nerfing their damage every time, and you're healing between the attacks. So amazing for shit like that. But that's it. You could be really big brain and play around that. That's why I think it's hipster bait. I think some really big brain smart players are going to bring her and bring some unusual comps to fights. That being said, her auras I don't think are particularly impressive other than physical attack. With attack and physical attack added up, it's 125% aura. That is pretty damn good to make up for her lack of shaving. She shaves like garbage, by the way. Her damage is garbage, by the way.
Oh, it's awful.
And
yeah.
Oh yeah, and so you would only be bringing her for her one gimmick. You would have to carry her damage and it's just there are going to be times where this is going to be amazing, I think.
Yeah.
And there are going to be times where the enemy takes so many turns, being able to heal between each turn will save your life.
Like
That,
Divine Shiva, perhaps.
yeah, like Divine Shiva. But this will, you have to know, this won't save you from battery attacks, battery to HP. And that's going to be a big thing. So let's
Yeah.
let's say you set the enemy's brave to 0, and then they battery themselves to like 40k and then HP attack you. It's going to do nothing for you. So it's so situational. It's so situational, but as Mark said,
Yeah.
when it works, it works. It's beautiful.
Final ASIM does bring up a good point that we should mention. If you have missed a lot of HP damage up calls, this is a good HP damage up call.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think it's 2 turns. 2 turns of the 20% HP damage up debuff for 2 turns, I believe. Right? Oh, and In is saying she also reduces enemy battery.
Yeah.
That is
she
fair.
steals
That is
the brave gain. Yeah.
But yeah. So, yeah, 2 turns. Yeah, Final ASIM's confirming 2 turn debuff, 20% HP damage up. That is it's decent, but just like Balthier, I would say if you're missing holes in your roster, right? Like if you don't have Kurosame, if you didn't stock up, sure. But I think unless you're gonna really make use of her LD 100% gravity before enemy turn and heals between turns, it's really personally up to you if you do this. Like Mark, are you pulling Maria?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull for Maria right now, and let's see what we get.
What is your reasoning here?
I got a free pull. That's my reasoning.
No, you're not gonna pull Maria. You're not gonna actually.
I did not get her. So.
Okay, so you're not gonna chase her.
No.
And why are you okay passing?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think the gimmick is cool, right? But I mean, as a support, I'm not going to blue her armor. She's not a favorite. I don't care about Final Fantasy II. It's probably my least favorite of the entire series. I already have a good chunk of support characters, including Bart's, including, name them? Lena's coming out as well, who kind of does a lot of what she does and also does damage.
Who knows?
True damage.
It could be delayed to like 5
months.
Yeah,
she could. Yeah, but I think if we end up getting Vanille in a couple weeks as opposed to Lena, that'd be great. That'd be fine because I'm probably gonna wait till Laguna to get Lena, so I'm probably not gonna pull on Lena either. So it won't be a big issue because there's a lot of other supports. Garnet. As well. I'm trying to think of other supports. I have Porum and Setzer. Who else do we have? I could green Yishtola. Great support there as well. But yeah, I just don't think I got Kate Sid. I got Kistis, Afmal. Yeah. I'm just it's always good to pick up an extra support, but it's nothing that's too exciting for me right now.
Yeah, Indolent Lard saying for those who haven't done Divine Shiva yet, Maria sounds like a really good pick there. Yeah, sure. By design, I'm sure. Yeah, always, what does Mark always say? If you can't do content, wait for the next banner or two for the characters that are really suited for it. I'm perfectly comfortable skipping Maria because while I think the gimmick is fun, I can't ever picture myself needing it or playing around it.
Right.
Like I can't think of why I really want to bring Maria because I love that gimmick. No, not that much. Not that much. So, when
am I going to use Maria over Orin? I'll find ways to use him, I think, over her for some of the similar reasons, right? And he's more defensive, but and offering, I don't need to heal if I'm not taking damage. Right? So
it's play style, right? Like you prefer the defensive approach. I think I would too. Yeah, it's just there's alternatives to this, as special as it is. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, if you like that weird, side boob thing she's got going on, I guess then pick her up. So.
The fight.
Oh yeah. So the fight. Well, no. Let's go to podcast polls. See what you all. Again, TonberryTroupe.com for the infographic. You can learn all about Maria if you want to dig deeper into her kit. Materia Bot for the podcast polls, and on Discord, make sure to vote every podcast poll. We have it on our Discord. We have a channel under podcast polls. Across 9 servers, 1 pity the BT, 2 pitying the LD, 0 using gems, 72 tickets, and 72 skipping. So yeah, a lot of people pushing back and holding off on Maria. I think a lot of people trying to save resources. I thought the same with Jecht. A lot of people seeming to skip, although less than we had originally on Jecht, because things are getting tight for some people, and it is a good time to save. So you fight 2 big things. Are they the one-eyed monsters? Is that what they are?
Yeah, the ugly deformed camels. They have 3 eyes.
3 eyes. Okay. The orb is a kind of a strange orb. It counts up by 6 if they take an attack from a debuff or effect ticking down before the enemy turn. So Maria. So if Maria's orb or trap goes off, their orb goes up by 6. If you have an attack, or if you have an attack from a debuff or effect, regardless, that goes up by 2. So Ace's trap, Garnet's overhead, Vivi, Trey, and any trap character, Caius, sorry, Vanille fans, X-Death, Core, we're not sure if Core ticks up or doesn't tick up. We're getting...
He does not tick it up. He ticks it up on enemy turns.
Okay. So he will
not 100%.
So he will not tick up every action of the player, but every action of the enemy. So Fujin, Leon, Ferris, Trey, Eldnarsh, Emperor, Celeste, Kryl, I guess, Firion, Realm, Cater. I start naming off all the trap characters. Does he tick up by 2 or by 6? I would assume
by 6 on enemy turns.
Oh, it is by 6 on enemy turns? Oh.
Yes, because it's any attack that appears before the enemy turn.
Oh, so he does. So he does work like Maria, in that sense.
Yes, but people thought he would work on.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. He works like Maria. I think people thought he would work on player turns, but
still, plus 6 before the enemy turn is really good.
Yeah.
That's really stupid. Well, I'm going to be bringing Core. I don't know about you, Mino. But you did have a chance to do this fight. So what were your thoughts? I've not done it yet.
All right. Well, I'm hearing mixed things. So let me see. So I didn't find the orb to be a problem with a regular trap character, because with a regular trap character it'll take up 2.
Yeah.
I think if you're good with manipulating bursts and summons, it shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I did use Ace, and Ace is known as to be really good for this because he's taking up 2 every turn.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, the orb isn't an issue. I can't really comment on needing Maria or Core whatsoever, but now we know Core works, so that's a thing. Other than that, I think so I brought a pretty skewed team. I did Jecht, Ace, Porum, and I was able to damage through it pretty fast. And their recast hurts a lot. You need some sort of mitigation. I'm sure people will bring Orin or whatever, but it seems similar to the Shiva fight in that you need big mitigation and big enough damage to blow past this, because their recast is up frequently. You're going to be taking a lot of hits, and the orb is an issue. I feel like the orb's only an issue if you're trying to no-turn this.
Yeah.
honestly, because they're pretty fucking fast. I'm sure we all remember the original Kadaj event. They get plenty of turns if you're
Right.
not trying to deny them turns. So I feel like regular traps will be perfectly fine. I think people were saying like Emperor ticks the orb several times with his trap. No, that can't be right. It's got to be one tick per turn. I think we'll experiment with this. I mean, do you know what you're gonna try to bring to this?
Um, no, I don't know. I'll use Jet because he's synergy on this. Uh, but yeah, I might use or I might try Orin and Core. I might bring Ace. I do have Ace. I don't have him green, but I have him LD and BT. I might bring Mariku is saying Kistis and Ace, so might bring Kistis, might break Kistis. I may try Belthier since he's synergy and we just got him. I might use Belthier here just for fun. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people in chat are saying like I don't know how much people will struggle with this, as we've seen with Shiva. Most people have Ace or Core.
Right.
And just like Shiva, they'll take care of the fight. So it's really it's a it's a tough call. Like I don't know what you would do without it. I don't know, pull Maria or
Yeah.
do something, but it seems like most people in our community are going to be prepared for this, no problem.
Yeah. Theologica says you can no turn it with Ace. Yeah. So.
Yeah, of course with it. Yeah. Ace is the
Yeah.
the cheat code, like BC's greatest contribution to the Defo community is telling people to pull Ace. Honestly, I didn't even know I wanted to pull Ace until BC kept selling it, and I was like, fine, I'll try it, and
Yeah.
it paid off so much.
Sure did. All right. Well, again, DissidiaFFOO.com should have information on that. We have a little channel. We have what we call a thread under GL Help Strategy, Mother's Fixation, Kadaj LC. Yep, the boss guide's already up on Dissidia Macnol's website. And we got a whole bunch of clears, and you can post your clears and videos, your screenshots right there in our thread. A lot of people already cleared it. Just looking to see kind of the teams people used. Core Ace Setzer, Trevoy did that. Martyr did Kistis, Ace, Bartz. Some Call Me Brian did Ace, Kistis, Sid Reigns. Blartanian, Blart Defo, did Vane, Ace, Kate Sith.
A lot of Ace. A lot of Ace.
Trying to see if there's a non-Ace run in here. Everybody's using Ace. Ace is obviously the easiest one. Here's an interesting run. Indolent Lard did 7 Garnet Zidane.
Okay, that's a cool run.
With a Jet friend. So very interesting. Everybody else and Quail did Maria Garnet Orin. So yeah. So but yeah, that's 7 because 7 ticks up the orb too, right? With one of her things. So
sure. And this brings me back to my previous comment of the game is so janky. I've given up trying to figure out what works.
Right.
And I'm just gonna play around it. Like we don't know which traps tick up how much at this point because the coding is so fucking bonkers. You just can't tell.
Well, we have time for a couple questions. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll probably hang out just for a little bit after the show. It's late here, and I got a long day. I got 2 big family meals tomorrow. So yeah, we get together with my wife's family at noon for meal 1, and then my family at 5 for meal 2. So
it's crazy, but we can talk about that in the post show. Yeah, right.
Silocon says when a player doesn't get a weapon they're pulling for within 100 tickets and gets angry and blogs about it, is it better to call them entitled or dumb?
You go first. I'm not touching that yet.
Let's see. I think it's better to remind them to come back down to reality and that this is a game and it doesn't matter. So your luck doesn't matter. And if you really wanted something, you should spend gems. And if you don't have gems, you should start saving them. And yeah, you're not entitled to anything. And you're not dumb. If you can be upset, that's your right. You can be upset. If you want to be upset about not getting something in a free pull or 30 tickets. But yeah, I don't know. I think touch grass. That's my response.
I wouldn't insult other people for this. Just let people be. Mark's answer is pretty good. Shit, I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. I gotta think of something, right? Gotta give him an answer. Entitled or dumb?
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one or the other. Fuck, dude. That's a hard question. On the one hand, people don't understand how probability works at all.
So that's dumb.
But on the other hand, expecting to beat probability is entitled, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so
holy fuck.
So both. Entitled.
Gun to your head, Mark. Which one? Which one? Is it?
I feel like it's mostly entitlement. Like I've gotten everything. I started the game last month, and I've gotten everything in under 30 tickets, and so now I'm entitled to get everything under 30 tickets. There you go. So
okay, I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's more entitlement.
Yeah.
Than ignorance.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, for sure. Like I know people know the odds, but they don't consider themselves lucky until they beat the odds by a very significant amount. So okay, yeah.
Right.
Let's go with entitlement.
Kane says, what are your thoughts on the game? And hey, if you're watching, we do have a couple minutes. Feel free to super chat if you want to ask a question or sub or become a member and just write your question and we'll answer it for you. What are your thoughts on the game's current difficulty and how do you think it's impacting player retention? We've had Lufania Plus's early Lufania Plus supposed to be very difficult. It's kept me engaged. I don't know if there are people who are, I think most of the people in our community have been able to kind of find ways around it. I think this type of challenging content actually brings in more players and keeps more players engaged than the garbage time that we're going to have coming up. Although I might be wrong. I think I'm more likely to get bored in the few months. Although there's the thing that keeps me engaged in this game is not the actual fights. It's the new characters, right? I mean, the fights are just ways to use the new characters. If there wasn't, a new character or two new characters every month, I would not be engaged in this game, I don't think. Or I would play it much more casually than I do. But I don't believe I would not be sad if this was kind of the standard difficulty moving forward.
I agree. Yeah.
I think this next era where everything kind of goes and the C90 era, I'm likely to be a little less excited about, very truthfully. I might have to find ways to entertain myself on some of these, but I don't even know how you do that besides just not bringing, start being like a Pikachu and not, using any ingots anymore. Like bring all my non-ingoted EXs. I have a whole bunch of extra non-ingoted EXs, so I'll just start bringing them on my characters, not selling them. Mino, what do you think?
I'm a firm believer that the harder the difficulty, the better for player retention. 100%. That's only solidified as I've started pulling back from Defo, going towards the holidays and playing other games more. I know some of our other content creators have been doing it too. Our buddies are playing like Halo and First Soldier and branching out to other games and really getting that outside perspective. I am a firm believer that you want to cater to your hardcore.
Yeah.
Talking to a lot of people, like I know there's a lot of people in the community saying like, oh, I can't wait for garbage time so I can use my favorite character forever. But also taking that, Inkwelder was really big into Pokemon Masters as another gotcha. And he recently said, oh, I got bored of that game because you can just bring the same team and beat everything. Which is ironic because in this game, he wants to bring his favorites all the time, right? Like Sabin, the Sabin saga. And so I feel like even the casuals would get really bored really quickly if there was no challenge. If you could bring the same team to kill everything for 5+ months, people are going to get bored, no matter how much they say they want to do it. And again, I think lessons from I outside of Defo, I play a lot of competitive PvP games, and the lessons from those are always the casuals are going to come and go anyways, no matter
Right.
what. Like they're called casuals for a reason because like Mark is a perfect example. Mark and his he said him and his friends they usually just pick up a game, play it for a while, and leave, right? Like that's just how the games are played. It's like they don't stay to a game for a long time. Is that correct, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like casuals, that's how they play games. They just dabble. So I feel like game retention wise, you always want to appeal to your hardcore. And there's an old school thought that I subscribe to in the old school days where MMOs were hell, like EverQuest, where the harder the game, the more esoteric the game, the stronger the community. There's no need for a community to come together and share thoughts and discuss things if everything's easy and there's not that much depth. It's when things are really complicated and really tough that all like the people that really care will gather together, start sharing
Yeah.
thoughts, talking, like that builds a stronger community for one. But for two, also, it's just that you want to appeal to the people who love the challenge. Those are the people who stick around, and those are the people who can get something from your game they can't get from anywhere else. Um, for fighting games, that's been true. Why is Melee still such a strong version of Smash or Ultimate, and all the versions in between are kind of like dropped so quick, right? Like with Brawl and stuff, they tried to make it more casual. They tried to put more RNG in it so it's less skill based. And the casuals will pick it up and play for a little bit and they'll leave. And the hardcore don't want to stay around because they're not rewarded for the time they put in. It's BC and I were talking about this with Sora and Smash Ultimate. Like the casuals who were asking for Sora to be put in the game for like 10 years, Sora comes out, they'll play for a month, they'll be like, "Oh, cool," and then they'll leave.
Yeah.
Like you can't appeal to the casuals. They're not going to stay around. They're not good for the health of your game. They'll buy. They're good for sales. They'll pick up the character. They'll pick up the game. But you want to really appeal to your hardcore. Same with like we were also making this comparison with shooters and fighting games as well, or even MMOs like FF14. That's more familiar to all of you. Like the story is so casual in FF14. I was streaming some of that for people that don't play the game in our community, and every dungeon boss has two mechanics. Exactly two mechanics. Every dungeon boss. And like if you're casual and that's what you like, that's good. But the reason why they can keep people around is because they have these much higher difficulties
Yeah.
where they're throwing like 30 something mechanics at you. And that's really crazy for people.
But you know
Like
the difference between it, and Macnol's arguing with you in chat. But the difference between and we'll come back to that in a second. You know
sure.
people seem to be okay with Final Fantasy 14. Like, oh, I just play the story and I do the hard fights, the hard difficulty fights. There's extreme and savage are the more difficult ones. So I just do the chaos fight and then I'm done. And then I play around with glamour and I do my fashion show and I gamble at the casino and I fish and I make pottery, whatever people do in Final Fantasy 14, right? And people are fine with that. And then there are the people that, I do the savage raids and I grind the savage raids and grind relics and there are people like, no, I just collect the mounts and that's all I do. And people seem to be okay with that. People, it seems to be my experience, people are not okay being casual Final Fantasy Defo fans, Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia fans. Now, the ones that we interact with, like the ones that we see on Reddit, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. So already they're not quite casual, but they're also not as invested to be extreme. They want to be able to, I mean, we see people start all the time and they're playing for a month and why can't I beat Lufania Plus? Well, you've been playing for a month. Why should you, like, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 for how long? I don't know. It's been a few months now. I'm not like, oh, why can't I beat Savage Raids? Oh, I'm not even trying to. Why would I even try something like that? I haven't even gone through the basic game. And yet people are like, yeah, no, I want to beat Lufania Plus right now. So I think it's a weird thing in just this game. Like, I've never picked up a mobile game and been like, oh, I got to beat the final content right now. I know some people are like that, but every game I play pretty casually except this game.
I'm curious of your perspective, so thank you for bringing that up, Mark. But I was talking to Frog recently. Frog is slightly losing interest in the game, so he's been checking out other games, right? And he said he picked up Brave Exvius, the other FF gotcha.
Yeah.
And he said, like, when people ask, like, oh, I just started, I've been playing for a month or two, how do I get to endgame? And he's saying that that community's like, hey, you just started? Don't even look
No.
at the newest tier of weapons. Don't even look at endgame. Like, that newest tier of weapons, like, try attempt endgame when you're a year in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, like there's no way you can even touch that shit
Exactly.
within
Right.
months of starting. Like he was saying, like, damn, Defo is so unique because you really can
You can, right?
challenge
Yeah.
endgame in the first month or two. It's possible. And so what I'm advocating, because Mark, what you said is right. Like, the thing about FF14, I'm going to use that example, is that, like, the regular story is perfectly at the right skill level for, like, casual players, and then you can go higher. But, like, from what you've played, and you've played a significant amount, Mark has finished Heaven's Ward, he's on 3.0. He has no interest jumping into the higher stuff yet, or like in a rush to do it. With Defo, I think, like, this current difficulty can be that regular difficulty, and they can throw more bullshit on top for the hardcore players. It's okay to go even tougher. Like, if any FFRK player or FFBE player, many of them are very okay and knowing that they can't do all content, knowing that
Yeah.
there's bullshit that's just barred from them unless they whale. Like, that's just how the game is structured. Something about Defo, maybe it's too inviting that everyone thinks that they need to be doing the highest difficulty or there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's something that it you know I don't know. And Macno was saying, I don't think the game would survive several months of fights like Mission Dungeon or Shulk event. I agree. Like, if every fight was a Mission Dungeon, a Kate Sith event, right? But I think these first, how many months has it been? 3 months, or are we just 2 months? October, November. Yes, I mean these first 2 months of Lufania Plus have been okay because we've had a couple BS fights, but we've had some really good fights and we've had some fairly easy fights, and so you kind of mix and match. You had some that were right on. We've had a couple fights we've talked about. We're like, yeah, this fight seems really legit. It seems like right, it like hits the mark. And we've had some fights like, yeah, no, it's pretty easy. And we've had some fights where we're like, yeah, this is pretty much bullshit. And I'm okay with that. Like, not all the fights are going to hit, but there were some challenging ones, there were some good ones, there were some easy ones. From what I've heard, I've not played it. I don't play the Japanese version of the game. The next six months, with maybe one or two exceptions, is pretty much easy fights. And so, is that gonna, like, I don't think that appeals to those of us who do want hard content. But it may appeal to the mass of Defo players because apparently there's a lot of casual players who want to beat everything but don't want to be good at the game.
I mean, my question is, why can't there be content that appeals to both, like
Right.
other games, like FF14? Like, why can't this be the standard and then make some ridiculous bullshit difficulty that's even higher for other people? Like, it should be possible to have both, right? Like, you just need to make some tier of content that's so bullshit that your average player will be like, "No, I'm not doing that," which is completely fine. Like, I know FFRK had a period of that when they had the Magicite dungeons and the 30-second trial run. Like you had to beat a fight in 30 seconds or something like that. And, like, your average player will be like, "All right, that's not for me. I get it." Right? Like, I'm perfectly happy doing the stuff up till then. and I'm still happy with the game. Or like FF14, how many people do the ultimate raids that are even above Savage? Like most people are like they're perfectly okay with saying no, I can't do that. That's fine. It's not for me. Like Devo doesn't have something like that, so everyone's attempting Lufania Plus. Like it needs some bullshit difficulty where people are like, okay, you know what? I'm happy just doing Lufania Plus. I feel very accomplished doing that. Whereas right now, I feel like people are killing themselves to do the highest difficulty, even if they're not ready or able to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for joining us video on demand while you're in the bathroom hiding from your family, stuffing turkey in your face. Glad we could join you today. If you're on YouTube, you can become a member. You can you can sub, you can ring the bell for a notification so you know always when we're live and when we have a new video. Do check out for new videos. I do post all my runs eventually and polls eventually. And then some new videos all the other time. If you're on Twitch, you can sub to us, follow us on Twitch as well. We appreciate that. If you're on your favorite podcast app, give us a review there. We appreciate that. Join our Discord, tccpodcast.com, for all the links to our social media and our Discord. Until next week, we will be back on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Mino and myself, talking about the next events and the next characters and all of those wonderful things. Until then, friends, happy Thanksgiving and have a wonderful Black Friday and a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Goodbye. All right, we are in the post-show. The answer was the answer to the trivia, which was the first time Mino jumped in to talk about us, was during the discussion of the Massive Explosion song. So there you go.
You want to jump into the post-show chat?
Oh, yeah. I always forget to do that. Yeah, if anybody wants to join us for the post-show, feel free.
Mac will join us so we can fucking fight on air.
Yeah, Mac will jump in and you can argue with Mino. On air as I
gotta do my polls too, huh? How many subs do we get today? I guess we count
11?
Super Chats. Fuck. Okay. Whew. Is that including Super Chats?
Let me see. 1, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Thank you, everybody.
140 tickets.
It's good for you. It's good for you.
On the one hand, it's not that many. On the other hand, I'm sad we didn't get more subs. But tomato. All right, let me boot up my emulator. Fuck. The worst part is having to reorganize everything later.
Hey, Nidre, how you doing?
What the fuck? Nidre, go to sleep. It's midnight.
It's not midnight.
It's not midnight. That's right. It's not. Nidre.
East Coast? East Coast, Nidre? No.
No. Normal time.
Yeah, normal time. Yeah. Nidre, you are a whale. Everybody, welcome Nidre, FFOO tip. Is that .com?
Yeah, .com.
FFOOtip.com. Yeah. You need a little jingle.
I'm gonna plug Nidre. I recently converted to OOTip because we had this fucking discussion where I was still using OO Tracker, and I'm glad OOTip has great fucking stuff. Very up to date. Very good. Please use that as your tracker. Even it has a Transcendence tracker. I super love that.
Thanks.
Except I think Ink was saying there's no way to link that to other people.
You can link it, but you can't link it with it being open at the same time, so you have to go in and click on it. Maybe I'll do something about that at some point.
I'm
So
trying to boot up my emulator, but it's not fucking loading.
so Nidre, you are a whale.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Are you interested in these magical sphere tokens?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's an interesting idea. But I'll tell you how much I'm willing to pay for it, which is if it were attached to some other bundle that I was already gonna buy, I'd be like, sweet. I will
Right.
pay exactly nothing. So that's how much I'm willing.
I think that's
I
fair.
just remember there's another whale. Was it like Yoshi Past? No, some other whale who was saying that they don't even buy these big bundles because they come with so much useless shit they don't want. Like they have all the armors max, they have all the weapons. Like why do they want armor tokens, power tokens, EX ingots and stuff? I feel like they'd do better if they broke these bundles down more, right? Like I love buying the high armor bundles because it's just the high armor shit. If it was just a sphere shit, it would be probably better than including it in these huge bundles.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that episode. I thought that was an interesting perspective. I guess he was just like really bothered that his inbox was filled with stuff that he wasn't going to
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
That doesn't bother me too much. I mean, everybody likes different things and doesn't like other things, but I think the way that I see it is like, why am I going to buy something that isn't going to like help me out any? And if I have all the armors done, then I'm not interested in that. As far as I'm concerned, there's really only I can only think of four different things that would really help out. One is obviously pull materials. You could always pull more crap, right? But put that aside for a second. The other things are high armor tokens, high armor realization materials, and BT realization materials, which they don't want to sell for some reason that nobody can figure out.
Yeah. Please help me understand why we cannot have.
I think I would have bought it. I think I would have bought it if the Black Fives Day sale was BT ingots. And you know what? If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think if I could buy BT plus ingots, I would pull for more BTs.
Right.
Not even
Exactly.
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems kind of. It's very. I don't know what the answer is here. I mean, I think like there is a measure of it. I can only think of two things, right? One is they don't want to sell that to people because they don't want them to burn out and spend too much money. That's like the same reason that bundles have limits. If bundles didn't have limits, you would think that people would like, I want to buy like 200 purple ingots, and then like their credit card gets declined, their house gets possessed,
Yeah.
and they can't whale anymore. So that's one thing, obviously. I guess the second is maybe they thought it would be too powerful. I don't think it would be, but they didn't allow it in JP until next month. So I don't know. Those are the only two reasons.
Yeah. I mean, if we had enough to like how many BTs pluses can we have now? Like 4, maybe 5. Out of 10.
5,
Yeah.
maybe.
So I mean, we got some extra ones. So, man, I just.
It just seems like money on the table,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, to have just one a month, like, to sell one of those packs, just like with the high armor. I mean, we're all behind on high armor. So, like, yeah, why don't we have more of those? I mean, I bought the last one that just came out with the actual book and the ingots as opposed to just the tokens. But even that, I mean, you got at some point, buy those high armor tokens, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think the good news here, though, is you have this problem. I think in the FR era, it's going to be solved for the most part. They let people buy the beefy power stones day one.
Yeah, the hyper stones. Yeah, that's a good move. I will be buying those.
Yeah, it's actually like kind of, again, this is sort of a theory that I put past Mino a while ago that he really liked, but like, people were saying that the LD token shop is like a really bad deal. because it's $80 and you just get some old thing. But depending on what you're looking for, it's actually a really great deal because you can skip pulling on a banner entirely.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that that's the case for these high power stone bundles as well.
Yeah.
You can skip having to buy many or pull many copies of FR dupes. So.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes total sense, and again, that will separate the that will separate the free to play from the pay to play a little bit more so. That's for sure. But again, not necessarily in ways that are particular. Again, it's not a multiplayer game. It's not a PvP game. Who cares? Let people max out. Let people max out all their characters. I mean, there's so many mobile games and so many gacha games that it's almost impossible to max out your character. And why not? Let your character do what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that was a great point that Mino was kind of introducing to about like many games, like not all the content is for everybody. I think that's a great point. I think the only caveat that people are a little gun shy about in this game are two different things. One is that this game has always allowed you to do the end game content.
Yeah.
So people have kind of gotten conditioned to that. And secondly, the only content that has any effort put into it is the final fight.
Right.
So I think people are worried that if the final fight were too hard for an average player to play, then all they would have is like the Cosmos fight to do. With as much effort that gets put into it. So I think one of the problems with like suggesting that the game have multiple difficulties that are like carefully crafted is they would have to put more effort into it, right. Which they should do, but
I don't know. I think they could I mean, what they do, you play FF14 too. What they do is they design it around the highest difficulty, the Savage raids, right? Then they nerf the shit out of it for the normal raids, and people are perfectly happy just doing the normal raids. Like, you can tune it really high. Like, you can tune it so high that, what do they do for the Savage raids? They say, they use computers to parse out what 100% DPS would look like. Then they subtract 15% for human error. Boom, there's your Savage. That's all they have to do, make something bullshit like that, and then just tune it easier. So, like, In was saying Lufania and Lufania Plus. Isn't that what Lufania is to Lufania Plus? Sure. If you make the difference bigger, I think that's all they need. They don't really put in that much work to make the lower difficulties. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely ways that they could do it that would make it not so much work, right? But we don't really know like what's hard and what's easy for. Yeah.
Right. And like here's my crackpot theory about everything you just said. Like, I think we're viewing Defo in a vacuum. I feel like this is just one of their tools because they have so many other gotchas out there and so many other money-making things. Like, everything out there has a hardcore audience. Maybe Defo is just their net for the casual audience because we have so many fucking players here, including a lot of our prestigious content creators like Macnol, who said that they don't usually play gotchas and that this is the only gotcha they'll touch because it's so generous. Maybe Defo is just their vehicle to get all the people that wouldn't play their other fucking games. And like, as we talk about a lot, Squex's last financial report is all about sustainability and subscriptions and long-term profit, not like billing them outright. And so maybe that's why there's such a slow stream of costumes, because like you gotta wait to buy the costumes. Maybe that's why the bundles are limited. I still don't understand why the fuck we don't have the weapon skins that JP has. Like, those could be more steady, or some other things, but maybe this is very intentional to be a slow drip feed. I don't know.
So, Mino, your screen is on screen. You're streaming.
Okay. Should I start pulling? Okay. How many fucking pulls do I have to do again?
140. 14.
All right.
14. So
14 pull? Okay.
Yeah, so
right.
seven down to 710. 713.
713.
Yeah.
Here's the first poll. Piece
713.
of shit. If I get another BT, I'm fucking killing somebody.
Yeah, feel free to throw a sub or a super chat or a member join YouTube if you want Mino to pull more tickets.
No, please,
So,
no. I hate Maria.
lots of maybe some extra Jecht bursts there. So
I thought you were pulling this banner for Ash like I did.
Ash isn't on this banner. That's
he's
on the
yeah
campaign.
he's pulling on the Maria banner.
Yeah, but Ash is on a banner.
Ash is on a banner, and I do not have her LD. That is true.
Ash is on a banner. Fucking Mark is saying he's not gonna gem pull for after this month till
Ever.
Force weapons. That's
We'll see how things go. I
don't believe him. He's gonna get bored.
Well, I'm
He's gonna
I'm
get
gonna
bored.
use tickets.
Is that the same thrill though? Is it?
I do have to say, one thing that encourages you to pull BTs is, or pull with gems, is keeping your BT count up.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't care about that. But.
I think Mark cares. I think Mark will. He'll really feel it when he finally misses one BT. Why is Alizé on this banner? Why is Alizé on this fucking banner?
That's a lot of gold for a ticket draw. Hey,
Raylos.
Yeah, we got Soraya the Ranger and Raylos Pendragon. So we're down to 6.
Subbed?
Yeah,
Why?
693. No! 693.
Oh my god!
Got to go down to 693.
Why?
And Shadow a $2 super chat from Shadowheart. So 683. Do you guys think power tokens have more value now? Not if you can buy hyper tokens. I would be a little bit more weary of. I mean, Nidra's talked about this. Did the math on the power tokens. Like you can't prepare for it. Like there's just no don't wantingly use your power tokens if you don't have to. If you have dupes, use your dupes, play smart, spend smart, but there's no
power
planning.
Tokens, not power stones, Mark.
Oh, power tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with power stones, they just increased the amount that you need by so much. It's kind of like if all the prices of everything increased by a lot, like for gas, and you just try to save money, you just feel like you were poorer. Not that that's something that would happen.
Well,
that's such a good way to put it, Nidre. That's just economics 101. That's the biggest thing a lot of people don't get. Inflation.
Yeah.
This is just Power Stone inflation, and it's better to spend now than to save later. That's why they say with the lottery you take the lump sum or other stuff, because use the money now. It's worth more now. It is only worth less as time goes on. But sorry, Mark. What were you gonna say?
Weapon tokens. So I think you should be using your weapon tokens. I don't see a reason for you to save your weapon tokens. So if let's say Ursula comes out next month, is she the next new character?
Jegram.
Oh yeah, Jegrin. Jegrin.
He's number 150. Oh, if you don't count core.
Yeah, I forget Jegrin. So Jegrin comes out. If you want to get Jegrin and you don't have 4 of his 35s and 4 of his 15s, then you should be. And you got woohoo!
I'm a bitch. Why did I pity Jecht's PT early? Why did I do this to myself? Oh my god, no!
I don't know why did you do it?
Saving your weapon tokens, beyond maybe 100 is probably not worth it. I don't know how many. I mean, I have 400 and I use them all the time. So use them. Save the power stones that way, sure.
Yeah, I
told myself I wasn't gonna pull any more fucking weapons on Jecht's banner. I was like, Lennon's not coming on Jecht. Who the fuck would I pull for? And here the
No, don't listen to chat. It's 5 burst tokens. This is 5 burst tokens. You don't
5 fucking 10% of a burst.
There's 5 more coming out of this gold ore.
Yeah.
We're gonna get another.
It's just just think about it as 5 burst tokens. Is 5 burst tokens not worth 170 tickets? Sure as hell is, every single time. If you could say you are guaranteed 5 burst tokens for 170 tickets, any day of the week. So, and look at all these extra EXs you're going to get. So for your extra orbs, you don't even need.
Alize so much. This banner is extra cruel because I really fucking hate her, and I'm just getting all her shit. Oh,
if you get Maria LD, does that mean you pull any more tickets?
You
or
stop.
Do you have to go to the
you
number?
you stop.
I get to stop on
Okay.
Maria LD, but the chances of that, what's the average for an LD? Like 300 tickets?
Yeah, a little over 200, between 200 and 300. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say to
300 is a very good chance to get it. 200 is a over 50% chance, I believe. 60
so
something.
Terrible. What was I gonna say? Shit, I was gonna comment on something Mark had just. Oh, right, weapon tokens. I don't think they're useless. I had a time with Shulk. Shulk just like if you pull for a new character, let's say you luck out and get the LD or EX, right? It would take 10 plus 10 plus 25 plus 25 plus 20. So 120 power tokens.
Yeah.
If you luck sack an LD, it would take 120 to finish the kit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not nothing. I did that on Shulk. I'm sure other people. It's conceivable. People luck sack the LD all the time, right? And then they want to finish the kit. Just go straight to power tokens.
Jovial Roger subscribed. Thank you, Jovial Roger. So we're down to 673. Yeah,
673. All right.
No, I don't think they're. I mean, the question is, are they more useful? Because you can use them instead of using power stones. I think you should use them instead of using power stones. If you if you've been building up and you forget they're there like I do occasionally, use them. Why not? Yeah, I don't think you should be sitting on resources besides gems and tickets. And the higher power orbs. That's the one thing that I never use. The power orbs and the guard orbs that are the gold. I don't think I've ever used either one of those. I don't know why.
Well, this is an interesting fact about them, and by fact I mean chat will correct me if I'm wrong about this. But I think if you use the gold EX orbs, it takes less gil to maximize the silver orbs.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I think if you're in a gil pinch, then it can be better to use the gold orbs.
How did you figure this out? How did anyone figure this out? Were they really counting the gil cost on this?
Oh, hooray!
Yay! Congratulations! Oh, nice!
Oh boy!
Oh, wow! Oh, damn!
Ooh.
Oh shit!
Wow!
I was alt tabbed. I just came back. Holy fuck!
Wow.
God damn it! Son of a bitch! How many?
Wow.
So I saved myself 30 tickets. Okay, so you guys got what you wanted. That was 100 something.
Did you already have Kadaj?
Yeah.
Wow, and you saved yourself 4
what
power
a
stones if you actually want to use Maria.
Nah, I'm selling these 2 for power stones right now.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right now.
Yeah, you should probably just sell them straight up. Yeah. How do you do
this? How do you do this all the time? This is awful. You use gems sometimes too. This is really, truly awful.
Yeah, I used 75 gems or 125 gems for a thing I didn't even want, nor will I probably ever use. 125,000 gems.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel better about that. I guess if there was a BT for me to pull, this is just a bad cycle. I was going after Jecht no matter what, but yeah, if it's like some bullshit like Jagger and BT, I guess we could sub for that pity. Jesus, that's gonna be amazing. Actually, you know what, Mark? Between the two of us, I'm sure.
For what?
Jagger and BT.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Somebody wants us to pity.
I don't
Jagger
care
and BT.
about. Yeah, I don't care about like anything next month. Next month is such a crap month for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad month.
And the month after is not. I mean, I'll probably pick up Lock just because. But
Lock is fun.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, Yeah, Jegrin, I don't care about at all. I had my initial plans that I was going to green Kuja, and I'm not sure why I was going to green Kuja. Like he's not. I think I had in my head that he was one of my favorites, but he's not. Like no. I mean, Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorites, and I like Kuja. I do. I mean, he is like up there in my enemies, but he's not in my list of favorites. He's not in my top 20.
Did you like write down a list
Yeah,
of 20?
I have.
Did.
Yeah, no,
He
here.
fucking did.
Yeah, I'll put it on screen. Let me.
Anyone who keeps a spreadsheet for this game is fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess Nidra has a whole website for it, so he's not exempt. But you know,
Yeah, let me.
Macno Inc.
Here,
Mark,
here you go.
They all.
Here you go, Nidre.
All right, let's take a look. Are you putting it on the screen?
Yeah, it's on screen. Mm-hmm. There you go. There's my.
Can you zoom in a bit? I can't see that.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the pixels to resolve.
Yeah, I'm lagging. I gotta refresh the screen.
My quality's at 1. Oh, okay, here we go. I can see it now.
So this is in order? This
yeah,
is
is this in order?
Order by game. Order by favorite game. Yes.
Oh, that's weak.
Okay.
Can you please make a tier list of your top 20? Like,
Yeah, no.
who's on top?
No. These are my favorite 20 characters, right? In order of the games that are my favorite. So Rinoa is my favorite character in Final Fantasy. Rinoa, Squall, Kistis are my favorite characters.
Are you excited for Reno BT?
Yeah, someday.
I'm so mad that she's getting a BT just because
BT
there's
and
so
Force
many Renoa
Weapons.
simps out there. So many Renoa simps out there. Tell included.
Yeah.
You know, like, ugh. All right, so he loves 8. He loves 10. Jesus. God. 4.
Where's Final Fantasy 11?
Yeah, it's real not. It's not on my list. It's not on my list.
Shadow's the only person you like from 6?
I don't like 6.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This
Shadow's
fucking
like the only one I don't like from 6.
All right. You know what, Nidre? I thought Nidre was a cold-hearted bastard, but I know he has a list of favorites too.
I have 5 characters that I will try to pull for generally, but like for example, my like favoritist character of them all is Kate Sith, but
It's your number 1.
Yeah, I'm not bluing his armor because he's not that good.
What are you hoarding resources for? Gotta.
I don't have that many blue materials for bluing stuff.
Yes. All right, so Kate Sith number 1.
Yeah,
I think you said you had like 5, right, or something?
Yeah, Kate Sith is in there. Tifa's in there. Edgar, Setzer, and Terra.
All right, 7 and 6 then. I didn't even realize you liked Final Fantasies. You always fucking brag about how... No, seriously, he always brags about, oh, just be like me and don't like anybody. That way it's easy to save your resources.
Well, I mean, I like him, but like I'm not gonna blue Edgar.
Why? Come on.
Because I pulled him in JP just because he's a favorite, and I was like, damn, this dude sucks.
I wanted to bring up, but I didn't want to color the show, where I think Nidre said one of his biggest regrets was pulling for Balthier in JP. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nidre's a good guy to go to, because he definitely picks Path of Least Resistance, so I know that if he skips a character, that character's probably no good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like kind of like a Clay type character, but
Well, you're like a Mark, right? Like,
yeah, kind of like Mark, I guess.
yeah, very similar to Mark, where first of all, you both like to collect all the fucking weapons. You're aiming for every LD. Mark has every BT. Hell, I think Mark has every weapon. Are you missing anything, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's missing like 1 BT and like a couple LD.
I am missing 1 BT, 1 EX, and I'm missing quite a few LDs. I mean, a handful of them.
What's quite a few? Less than 10, single digits.
Well, let me look here in my game. Do you have the LD shop? Is that still active? No, it's not if you don't have it in there, is it?
Yeah, but the LD shop doesn't have all.
No, it doesn't have.
'cause-
I have all the current ones. I mean, I'm missing
saying
Ferris.
Baldur.
I'm missing Ash. I know those are two that I'm missing. I'd say
Hey,
probably.
Ash is on this banner right now.
I'd say probably there's probably half a dozen, maybe a little bit more LDs that I'm missing.
half a dozen's like nothing though. Come on.
Yeah.
BC saying, yeah, Balthier got instant bench. He wasn't good for anything.
Nice.
Range Orb on Fran, I guess, didn't stand out. It's really, I feel like I keep thinking about how we're gonna do the show moving forward, and it's like there's clearly a lot of people who care more about favorites and character sagas, which they're gonna be able to do, and then there's people who don't care unless they stand out, like Nidre and BC. Like I feel like we're more discerning, we're pickier about what we pull. There are people who pull everything. That's why they have no resources. And so we can't just be like, oh, well, you don't need this character because that's every fucking character for 5 months. Like, we got to talk about what they're good at, right? And why you would enjoy playing them. If you're a vet, I think this triple LD banner is bad. Yeah, for sure. But I can appreciate how good it is for newer players. Setzer's proven to break everything. And if you missed him, here he is again.
Yeah, it's a good banner. If you're missing all three, it's like a very good banner because the odds are. It's just like I was saying this earlier in chat, but basically this is like an FR banner, but it doesn't have an FR on it. That's the only difference between the banners that JP is currently running in a new era and what we have now.
Indolent Lar brings up a good point. I forgot to talk about this in the podcast, but the campaign banner was synergy for Kadaj LC, which gave people more options. That's really cool. And if they keep doing this for campaign banners, that's really cool. I do like extra synergy for stuff. That's never a bad idea, I think.
Yeah, I used Setzer here because he was synergy.
I know, me too, right? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Who would I have used if he wasn't? I don't know. I guess like a EX only Maria.
Also, I'm missing 13 LDs, but
I'm at like 18 plus.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't need to collect all of the weapons. I don't need to save unnecessarily either. Like I said, I just try to have a sense of pulling for things that is going to keep me interested. But yeah, I mean, I'm always going to pull for my favorites. But at the end, Kane and Shadow are this month, and then the only other favorite that doesn't have an LD or anything new is going to be Lulu. Speaking of characters that aren't great, and yeah, so I mean, you got 6 months where But no, I mean, but to be fair, during that time, there's half a dozen greens that I already have the bursts for, like Squall, Zac, Cloud. Well, I won't have Zac, but Squall and Cloud, Yuna, Sephiroth. I already have theirs. Vincent and Zac get bursts. I already have their LDs, so I just need the bursts, which I could token potentially. So there's going to be things that are interesting, and I'll pick up Laguna. I'll pick up, probably pick up Snow.
Yeah, I think that a point that you made earlier that I thought was, well, what's keeping you interested in the game? You said like kind of new characters, new kits. That's the same thing that I feel like. For instance, I'm really excited to play with Shadow. I didn't get him in JP.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be fun to use him. So, Shadow's an example. I've had a lot of fun these past couple months using Ace a bunch. He's like busted to heck. I didn't have his BT in JP. There's a lot of characters that I got in JP that I'm excited. I just had so much fun playing Locke during this era when he gets his LD and like setting up the buffs correctly and then doing a million damage HP. It's just like a lot of fun. So I think that's what if you're looking ahead and you're like, damn, 7 months of like nothing, then you're like, okay, well, why am I even playing this
No,
game?
right.
But if you think about like, oh man, I'm gonna get to like play lock and I'm gonna play snow and try the snow cheese. I'm gonna use Charlotta and see how I can get like a 2 million damage done in one launch. Like that, that could be kind of exciting.
Is that what you're gonna do? How did you get through this fucking era?
Well, I mean, in JP it was not that hard to get through it because I didn't know what was coming next. But
Right.
so I was like, okay, well, let's see how they end up finishing the LD era. I think the like last month of LD era has some interesting fights here or there. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of the fights are pretty easy. So yeah, I think that the thing that I'm looking forward to emphasizing this time around is like either the kits that were really strong that I didn't get, or the kits that were interesting that I didn't.
And again, I'm not saying I'm not going to pull. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of guaranteed gem pulls over the next 6 months. That's all I'm saying. So CSAM saying, are you gonna go for selfie? Yeah. So I'm going for Shadow, and then whatever I have in tickets left over, I'll go for selfie and Ida. I'm gonna get Kane and Shadow, but yeah, selfie and Ida. So this month I got several pulls. Obviously, if I get Caius's, I already have Caius's LD. If I get his BT, fine. If not, I really don't care. But then, yeah, moving into next month, I'm not. I don't have any idea, like what I'm gonna be spending resources on.
Magnol brings up a good point. He's saying, Mino, I think worrying so much about how much you're not going to enjoy something that isn't here yet is just self-inflicted harm. You can always adjust the difficulty up for yourself by choosing to not stack BT plus effects and see how that goes. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that, Magnol. That's what I usually do for this game. I think our discussion at the end of the show was, though, I think it's better for the game, period, to have higher difficulties, because we've seen that most people don't, they want to be forced to try, right? Like there's so many Reddit and Discord comments about like, oh well, why wouldn't I use meta and no turn this fight? Like why would I make it more challenging for myself? I want the game to force me to do it. I want the game to offer more than whatever, for 3 tickets for the highest difficulty. I want the game to fucking give me a shit ton of stuff if I do the highest difficulty. I want to be restricted. That's why so many people like Equinox and Abyss, because they're forced to not bring meta. I just feel like it's better for the game health, period. And speaking of that, BC is now messaging me the details of the new upcoming JP fight, because we were literally just talking the other day, like, oh man, they shouldn't have got rid of the Lufania orbs for the Shinryu difficulty, because a lot of people are no-turning the Shinryu stuff. And I was like, I think I would like the Shinryu fights a lot more if they weren't so easy to no-turn. And so this new fight, the details leaked out. So for anyone familiar with JP, like Nidre, the effects are, the gauge effects are at 20%. The bosses become delay immune.
Oh.
At 40%, player party action delay is increased. So, the high turn rate, it's low turn rate now.
Oh, wow.
Your party. And then 60 to 80%, player party action is further increased.
Interesting.
And then at 100%, they just do their attack. No, nothing. They're just gonna fucking hit you as soon as they hit 100%. And during their FR time, they get 5 turns whenever they attack. When attacking, recovers HP, lowers action delay. Oh, that's really interesting. So I guess if an attack recovers your HP, it lowers action delay. Huh. Oh, no, that's for the enemies. Okay, yeah. So when they put in these things where it's getting harder and harder to no-turn them, that's what I like. I think, who was I talking about the other day? Like, DissidiaFFOO is just so unique because it encourages no turning. No other fucking RPG can you do this. I don't know why people like it so much. Like, you can't play any other Final Fantasy or RPG where you just never give the enemy turns. Yet people fucking love this strategy. I don't know why, but oh my god, I really wish they would kill it. Did we? Did we talk about that on Ranting Hour, Nidre?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of an interesting thing because, like, when I joined the game, it was around Emperor's time, and, like, the best friend unit was Setzer because he could delay people and do damage, and that's what you wanted in the ultimate summon boards, which were a big deal back then, using friends on it because we didn't have autoplay. And I was like, man, I wish I had a unit that did delay because that just seems really busted. You can like push the other people back and not let them get a turn. And sure enough, Aranea came out right after that, and she had a lot of delay. So I feel like in the era that I joined, when delay got very powerful, around that time, like with Aranea and Setzer was at that time, and then Leo wasn't after. But they have kind of buffed delay quite a bit. And they always and when they didn't buff delay, you know, most recent era, kind of instant turns. I don't think instant turn characters are as big as they are. So like the Tituses and so forth.
Jovial Rogers saying no turning was possible in FF10 with delay buster plus Hastega plus quick hit. I mean maybe, but not for like the harder fights, right? No way, not for like the end game stuff like Dark Aeons and stuff. We had this big discussion where it's like, hey, to kill no turn bullshit, this game can be less forgiving. It can just say, hey, at the highest difficulty, bosses are immune to this shit. Like it's okay to do that. Like so many RPGs say, hey, at the highest difficulty, bosses don't ignore like 80% of your debuffs and status effects. It's okay to do that. Your characters are still useful for like 20% of fights, but you don't need every fight to be able to be delayed and no-turned and everything. Like, I think that really kills the meta. But, I mean, Mark, any thoughts on this?
No, I wasn't listening because I was doing something else.
No problem.
I do want to respond. Seven Heavens was asking or made a comment about gems. Gems will be used for GL firsts. Yes, if there are more GL first characters, you better believe gems will be used. Every GL first character has been.
Yeah, that is actually, you know, we've talked about. We talked about like you should use up all your materials except for tickets and gems. That's the reason that I haven't used every single red ingot that I have, because I'm anticipating that there's going to be a GL first in February, you would assume.
Yeah.
You think so?
In February, yeah, I think in February, something.
Worst case scenario, but that's like 6 months between GL firsts. You really think they're busting their ass all like that?
Well, you think they're going to have an anniversary and not have a GL first?
That's what happened last anniversary, right?
I mean, they had GL early LDs.
You think they're going to time travel some LDs?
I think that'd be pretty disappointing. So I think they'll probably have GL first. That's
I want to be as optimistic as you, Nidre, but I felt like the fact that it took them longer to come out with core means it's harder to do these GL first. I thought that's what Josh's quote unquote long con was. Like, oh, we're not going to have them as often. I thought. I don't know, but I'm prepared for the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think you could view it that way, or you could say, you know, it's just kind of a nice bonus that we got core, and they can't I mean, like, time traveling in LD in February, I mean, I guess it will make some kind of difference to some people, but,
right,
you know, most people I don't think are going to care that much.
Well, right.
I think they do it. Balthier's getting hype already, right? Everyone's like, oh, cool, Balthier time traveled 3 weeks. He's so amazing now. But
it's not as cool as F-Mouth time traveling 1 week. That's
right, yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was freaking awesome.
Dude, like any time travel at all. At all, people will pull. But yeah, Mark, you were gonna
No,
say?
I think given that we're going to be in this era that's a little bit easier, that if you can have a really solid character that will be unexpected, like who cares if Braska comes, Braska LD only comes. Like, I mean, like, okay.
They gotta time travel something, right? Like I said, it saved Balthier and Vivi. These characters are super unremarkable on their normal release, but in GL, a lot of people pulled, a lot of people were happy.
I mean, we didn't know that at the time because they weren't out in JP. But
Oh,
it did end up being
that's
that
fair.
way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, I don't know, maybe the devs knew. Maybe that's why they were picked.
The devs knew.
No, you're laughing. You're laughing, but I'm serious.
Bullshit.
Yeah, like you're laughing, but like that's why a lot of these characters get picked for time travel. Kane has been time traveled like 3 fucking times because he's just shit every time. Let's be honest. Like even when he's time travels like 4 or 6 months, nobody uses him. He's so bad. Or like
So I think you're insinuating that like the devs kind of know when they're phoning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when Steve is making the character. I know. It's just this one guy. It's like
Steve.
it's what's his name's son. His bastard child Steve, and they can't fire him, and he gets like every 10th character, and they just know, oh, idiot Steve.
It's Steve's turn again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
This reminds me of did you guys watch Star Wars Visions yet?
No, I have not yet.
Nidre?
I don't even know what it is.
It's anime, Star Wars anime.
Yeah. So I think
official.
Disney
it's on Disney Plus.
Disney officially outsourced. They chose a bunch of like Japanese animation studios and said, "Hey, make a Star Wars short. Interpret it however you want. Just like it's an anthology for the Star Wars universe." And so they shipped it out to a bunch of studios. And I was reading like the interview behind it, and we always make fun of this, but this is like an intern project, right? Like some of these shorts, I'm reading the interviews, and the directors are all like, "Oh, this seemed like a good chance to give our young guys some practice."
Yeah.
Like we were like, "Oh, we're gonna use this as a project." We told our like newest recruits, like, "Hey, we make a short, and it's like homework. Make a short, and like with these kind of requirements." They're like, "Oh," one studio was like, "We're gonna try to focus on old school Japanese animation techniques. Just practice with that." And so it's like intern projects. They're a real thing. Like scut work you give to the newbies to give them practice. And like I would not doubt that some of these fucking kits and fight designs are basically intern work. Like, come on, let's be real. Some of the quality differences between some of these character kits and some of these fights, they're enormous. I mean, everyone does that at their work, right? Like, there's always like some shit work you give off to the new people just for practice.
Yeah, I mean, I was bringing up the question as an earnest question. Like, I'm assuming they've made now. If you go across the history of the game and you consider like each new weapon release to be a new kit, quote unquote, because basically they redo everything. Like at this point, they've probably done what, like 300, 400 kits at this point.
Yeah.
They probably kind of have some idea, like, oh, like this is going to be not so great versus this one is going to be really awesome.
Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, let's like, not everyone's a winner. They can't make 150 winners. They can't.
Yeah, I think that like they generally have tried to keep it in a certain band, and I think it's been pretty good for the most part. But like sometimes they really mess up. Like JP, Sarah is an example of it. Sephiroth, I think they didn't. I think they really thought we loved Sap a lot or something on his LD. I have no idea what they're going for, but I think that some of them, I guess, are supposed to be not as good. But like the characters like Titus, you know that somebody looked at Titus's new kit with LDBT and they were like, yeah, that's going to be pretty good. So I think they have some idea, probably.
I know, right? Yeah, and GRW's like, wasn't Studio Trigger included in those Star Wars animations? Studio Triggers aren't newbies in animation. No, but there are newbies at Studio Trigger.
Right,
all right?
they
It's
have
like, yeah, it's like Pixar, where they have their vets helm the movies, and then they give their interns the shorts for practice. Like every company has newbies, and they use lesser projects to train them, and like that's why like the Square Enix stream, right? Like, come on, they're training Crystal here. Let's be real.
It's not
like Josh is a veteran.
It's not going well.
Well, I didn't say that. That's not my words. Mark doesn't represent the TCC podcast, but I mean, like, that's how you fucking train your new people and the next generation. Like, clearly, there's one veteran, Josh, who's done this for years. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it. And then during the stream, he's like, "Hey, Crystal, why don't you take this one? Why don't you try this?
Yeah,
why don't you try summarizing this?" Like, that's how they fucking do it.
Didn't work out great this time around.
Whoa! Oh my god. Mark is just violent.
Yeah, she did a better job on the last one, I thought, too, because she had some slides in the last one. I think she would like really knocked it out of the park, but this time I think she was a little less prepared for whatever she was getting.
It just seemed. I don't know again what's happening behind the scenes and what preparation was there. But yeah, just Jovial Roger says no, and you know, God bless Joshua and Crystal, and I'm glad they're working for us and sharing the stream. No complaints there. But yeah, so Jovial Roger, you can go back and watch the VOD if you want to, but Joshua was passing it off. So when I passed it off to Mino, you know, what did you think of Maria? And Mino would be like, Maria came out. She's a ranged damage dealer with her new BT plus. No, Mino, she didn't. No, let me take that. No, you know, Maria got an LD and she's got traps now. She didn't get a rework right. So it kind of happened 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. It happened a few times where Josh kind of passed it to Crystal and Crystal was not prepared,
like
ready.
The Mog Pass thing stood out for me. Like, oh, can you summarize the Mog Pass? Oh, I don't know.
No.
Back to you.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much that. So, yeah, and it happened. It happened more than once. And I'm not. I don't have any idea what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm just saying what it appeared to be. So I mean, maybe she didn't have any idea that this was happening. So like, who knows? I don't have any idea. So I'm not going to throw her under the bus. I'm just saying that's how it played out. It was. I felt bad for her because I mean I don't like to be put in that position. No one does.
Being put on the spotlight,
no one doesn't. Yeah. No one likes to be put in that position. I don't sit, when I'm teaching kids and say, what's the answer? No, like that's just not how you do it.
It's a little weird to me since Mark already opened the floodgates for violence. I guess we're just all choosing violence tonight. Like if I'm gonna fucking choose violence tonight, and I'm not saying I am, but I'm saying like it's weird. Because it feels like these streams, and if they are, that's fine. These streams are just practice. That like it feels like honestly, Squex doesn't really care about these streams, and I say that because I'm sure Nidre and Mark are in the same position as me. If I had to make a public presentation at my job to the outward-facing public, it would be practice. It would be rehearsed, right? Like you don't want like the president to give a fucking speech and then pass it to the vice president. Oh hey, why don't you take this subject? Like no preparation at all. Or you don't want like any public announcement. Like this is representing a company. Like this is like presenting a PowerPoint to your clients, right? Like maybe it's just treated as more casual. Maybe like nobody can blame them if like information stream for a gotcha that they're just like handling on the GL side. Maybe it's not a big deal, but like if you look at like E3 Or I look at like Outriders or Avengers presentations, it's like pre-recorded, it's rehearsed, like they put their best foot forward. Like I feel like if this is their job, right? Like they're getting paid and they're representing the company, to be that unprepared looks really bad. It makes it look like not a professional product. And what all I'm commenting on is either it should have been prepared more thoroughly beforehand or it shouldn't have been improvised like that on the spot. Because, like, God knows if I fucking present at work, it's not going to be like that, right? Like, I'm sure Nidre and Mark do presentations for work as well. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, I mean, I think
literally a professional speaker. Yeah, so.
I mean, I basically just agree with what Mark said. I think that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, why it felt like not as prepared as it could be. But I think we could all tell that it was not as prepared as it could.
Yeah, can you imagine if Mark was giving a sermon and then halfway through he's like, "Oh, the next passage is John 3:16," and he calls up a choir boy, "Hey, why don't you take this one? Just for practice. Tell us what this is about." Like it's just so fucking weird to me. Holy shit. And Furry Tractor's like, "Oh, well, those are big name titles. They have shareholders to appease to." If that's true, then what's also true is these just are not a big deal to them, these mobile streams. If that's the case, that's fine. But we're just giving an example of intern projects. Like the intern projects are shit you throw at people just for practice because it's not a big deal if they fuck up. And if that's the case, that's defo, right? The game we're all playing, I guess it's an intern project.
Yeah, well, but even I mean. You just there's a level of professionalism and just get the information out there, like just share, like I mean better to share it as a infographic presentation than or a pre-recorded video.
Oh, pre-recorded is a good idea.
Yeah.
Why? Like I feel like pre-recorded is a lot less work, right? Like yeah.
Well, I mean it's. I don't know. I guess
Ope is pre-recorded.
Ope is pre-recorded. Yep.
They even have editing and everything in there. They edit shit in afterwards. The fucking subtitles, the images, and everything. Like that's all edited afterwards. It's okay to do pre-recorded. In fact, it looks more professional. I don't know why.
No, I would say that's probably a lot more work.
Yeah, I feel bad that they do this live because the last stream, Josh is like, "Shit, sorry guys. I'm not used to working on a Sunday." So they had to pull him out from his fucking Sunday to do this.
Right.
Why didn't they just pre-record it? I don't know. It feels ridiculous. I don't know. Square Enix giant intern project. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot.
This is why Josh doesn't want to come on our show, by the way, guys. So
yeah. Stop
asking.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more. There's a few reasons. That's fair. That's fair. Hey, well, it's midnight here, and it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I've got 2 very big meals with 2 very big families tomorrow. So, thank you, Nidre, for jumping on. Always appreciate you hanging out. It's a lot
thanks
of fun.
for having me.
Thank you.
I mean, by having me, I mean like I just came in here.
Yeah, no, well, you're welcome. To do
you could
that.
have banned me from the server too. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. There's a reason why certain people have unlimited access to this channel. You want to hop in, you hop in. Necklord's banned, by the way. That's why he never hops in.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Necklord should be sleeping. Pre-recorded TCC. Yeah, they're called our YouTube videos. Those are all pre-recorded. They're like a stream, except I record them beforehand and then I put them online. So yeah.
To take it a little more seriously, though, not only is this a hobby for us to practice public speaking, kind of, sort of, but also like this isn't informative. If this is like informative, like Mark's tier lists or whatever, those are pre-recorded. But this is like the selling point of this is the conversation.
It's a talk show.
Yes. Yeah. There you
go.
go.
It's a podcast. Hashtag it's a podcast. Thank you all. Have a great holiday. We will see you next week. We will, just say thanks for something. And I'm sure there's a lot of things you can be thankful for. There's a lot of things I'm thankful for.
Really quick. What are you thankful for? Really quick. One thing off the top of your head. This community.
I'm thankful for all of you who are joining us live right now on the Crystal Chronicles YouTube and Twitch. Thank you for the 17, 18 of you that made Mino pull on Maria's LD banner.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's not even that much, but I feel wounded.
You got off pretty good on that one. I
did. I have no reason to complain, but
yeah.
I just wanted to hoard till force.
Yeah.
Nidre, thankful for this community.
Yeah, it's a good time in this community. I'm thankful for it.
All right, I can't steal the community answer, but I do want to at least reiterate. Thank you for the community. It's always amazing, this little gacha game, how big of a community we've built, right? Like people from outside in my other circles who always like inquire about it. They're like, "Holy shit! For a game with such low like profit earnings and like low profile, like this isn't Fire Emblem Heroes or fucking Grand Blue or whatever." They're like, "Damn, the community is really tight knit here." For sure. They're like, there's so many content creators for such a small game. You look at the bigger games like Brave Exvius, no, they don't have nearly as much coverage. So something special here for sure. And as much shit as we talked, I am thankful for Squex for Team Ninja. Thank you for the game. And as much shit as we give the community managers, I always am very thankful for Crystal and Josh. I do think Josh goes above and beyond the average community manager for sure.
No doubt.
And I'm sure, yeah, for sure. We talk a lot of shit, but I gotta admit, as a community manager, I think he goes above and beyond, right? Like I know community managers from way bigger communities. I've got friends who work in gaming companies. I know the big ones like Ronnie 2K for the 2K game series. I know he doesn't put in nearly as much work as Josh, and you know he represents a much bigger fucking community. And I'm sure, like Crystal will do great as well. We're just assholes. So,
yeah. All right. Well, with that, thank you all. Until next time, goodbye.